And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, the Epstein files. You happy now? The Epstein files have been quote unquote released. Are we going to stop with this biggest dog and pony show that I've ever seen in my entire life? I'm talking about since I've been a nucleus in the womb. This has been the biggest bag of nothing burger I've ever witnessed. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, ICE raids all over the country are emptying schools because a lot of schools are being inundated with the kids of illegal aliens. In Charlotte, they said 20% of the students didn't show up because of ICE raids. Some are going to say, oh, that's so sad, ABL. I'm going to say, well, thank God we got some of the burden off of these teachers' shoulders. Do you know what they're going through? Look, you know what? I'm getting triggered already. Hey, I'm getting triggered already. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Nicki Minaj, aka Nicki Minaj, the queen of rap. No Cardi B. Cardi B could never. Cardi B can't put two words together in English, and she was born here. That's crazy. But anyway, Nicki Minaj spoke at the UN about the Christians in Nigeria. People don't really like that too much. Oh, you're a MAGA now. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. There's so much happening here. Epstein files. The dumbest thing, listen, the Epstein files got to be the dumbest thing that I've witnessed in a long time. And I told y'all months ago that this was nothing. It's nothing burger, but yet it's still continuing. And my question is why? And whenever I watch any of the congressmen and women like Thomas Massey, who else? Marjorie Taylor Greene, anybody talk about it, it's just like, what are y'all doing? Like, are you trying to put on a performance? Is it a play? I don't understand what's happening. What's the purpose of this? I'm not being distracted from other things that are going on. Whenever I hear the Epstein files, it's like an interference. It's like a little pestering bug on my shoulder. It's like, okay, Mr. Bug, what do you want from me? You didn't already bit me to death. Okay. Your belly is full. I could see it. What else do you want? What is the problem now? So to all those who wanted the files be released, hey, I'm not trying to attack you. If you want the files to be released, this is the thing you're looking forward to. Congratulations. My question will be, now what? What's the next step? Where do we go from here? What's going to happen? Is anybody going to get locked up? This man been dead for I don't know how long. What, 6 years now? When did Epstein delete himself or whatever happened? Okay. And the funniest thing is some people think that if Epstein got professionally hit, that we're going to find out. It's like, that's the whole purpose. Like, you're not going to find out. So I don't understand. If you think that's going to be in the files, you're sadly mistaken. That's never going to be in the files. So he got hit or he died August 10th, 2019. We're now in 2025. It's been 6 years. If you didn't know anything before he got or died or whatever you want to say happened to him before he died, if there was nothing linking him to these big names that we think or some think are in the files before he died, and there's been nothing after he died, and it's been 6 years, what makes anybody think there's going to be anything? Some think it's going to hurt Trump. Really? Y'all know full and well if they had any shred of evidence linking President Trump to Jeffrey Epstein, they would have already put it out. And some would say, you know what? No, they're not going to do that because Epstein was helping Democrats too. Listen, the Democrats don't care about collateral damage. They don't mind. They didn't already throw the one lady under the bus from the Virgin Islands. They don't care. They don't care. They treat you like garbage, man. We saw Jimmy Carter out there 1,000 years old. Like, we saw that. They don't care about actually hurting you. They don't care. They had Joe Biden in there knowing full well he shouldn't have been the president, knowing full well he shouldn't have been in office at all. They knew full well he had dementia or whatever before he actually became the president. They know that, but they didn't care. Hey, man, go out there and be a good Democrat. Save America. We know you about to be dead, but so what, man? Give us your last little 2 years you got and help us out. And it's not really your choice. Okay, you don't want to put it out? Well, we gonna tell the world that you were in a shower with your daughter and you did something crazy. Oh, you want that to be out there? Okay, well, go ahead and run for president and run and win. And whatever we say you got to do. I mean, that's kind of what it seems like to me. They don't care. My point is, they don't care about hurting their own people to get to who they really want to get to. They'll burn everything down. They'll they will kick the can down the road. That's how they do. Whenever they want to get something accomplished, they'll do it and then worry about the consequences after the fact. They will pull a grenade just to say they did it and leave the grenade right there on the ground and then wait for it to blow up. It's not going to blow up right now. We got about 3 to 5 seconds. Let it blow up then. That's how they are. If there was anything on Trump related to Epstein, it would have already come out. There was a rumor talking about Trump is gay and there's a sex tape. It's like, man, come on. Y'all got to get off TikTok because they put anything on there and people believe it. TikTok is a new National Enquirer. When you were a little kid, if you're my age and you be in the store with your mom in a little checkout line, National Enquirer. Bigfoot spotted in Texas. Okay, Elvis has come back and he got a baby alien with him, like Michael Jackson's pet monkey Bubbles. That's what they'll say. And people will believe it. If they, look at this here. Michael Jackson then got found at the ranch with a. It's the same thing going on right now with the TikTok. People put anything on there and people believe it. And now with AI, it's even worse. It's to the point now where I see certain videos, I'm gonna kind of like double check to make sure that everything's on the up and up. You know, I've seen some videos. I've fact checked quite a few videos before I show them to you. Sometimes they catch me, but that's rare. Especially nowadays, I'm really vigilant about that. I'll go and see what the news source was. Like there was one video I couldn't even imagine that it was real. I forget what that was, but I had to go check. Oh, it was a clown car. Did you guys see where all those upstanding scholars or whatever you want to call them climbed out of the vehicle 9 deep? It was like a sedan. It wasn't even a Sprinter van or a truck or an SUV. We're talking about a sedan, like a Toyota Camry. 9 deep. It was 2 of them folded up in the trunk. It's like, man, this is crazy. No way this is real. I had to go research it, and yes, it was 100% real. Happened right there in Northern Virginia. Well, in the Northern Virginia outskirts, I guess you would say. So, yeah, I mean, my point is that I'm going to verify this stuff. I ain't going to put whatever out there. But people watch videos that don't get verified by someone who don't care about being right. It is when it gets some clicks and views, and then they believe it. So that's kind of what's going on with that. John says 10 years of false accusation. It's been false accusation after false accusation since the beginning. Russia. Why didn't the Epstein thing come out if there was a thing back in 2015 when he ran, when they tried to say, what was that, Stormy Daniels, all this, E. Jean Carroll? I mean, come on, man. Listen, the Epstein thing would have been more believable than E. Jean Carroll. It's like, come on. And then Stormy Daniels, what did he do with Stormy Daniels? Was it even a crime? Did he assault her? Like, I don't understand. It's really weird. They tried to make him be somehow guilty of a thing that's not even the crime. The mortgage thing, not a crime. Stormy Daniels, not a crime. Or they said that he paid it improperly. Man, please. These people in Congress do whatever they want with the monies. The insider trading is crazy. Okay, you could become elected and go to DC, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example. You're worth $400,000 before you go to office as basically a soccer mom. Your husband had the construction company. You just a mom at the house chilling watching Q videos talking about Jewish space lasers. That's who you were, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Then you go to Congress. All of a sudden, you divorce your long-term husband you were married to since 1994. All of a sudden now, you're a little bit too big for your britches. You're getting money, and you're worth millions. Then you want to try to say, oh, Orange Man bad. I want to be the captain now. No, Marjorie. You either stay in your position as a House rep, just being a good MAGA, voting where you got to vote, or go back to Rome, Georgia, and work in a paper mill, build a house yourself rather than using illegal aliens, do something like that, right? That's what you should do. And you know what? Everyone can't do everything. Some are suited for the House rep role. I'm not trying to downplay that role. It's a good role and it needs to happen. Your votes matter. Your votes count. However, you might be good for that role. Do you want Hank Johnson, Mr. Guam Mike tip over to be a senator or a governor? No. But as a House rep, who is he hurting? I mean, you know, and the president, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I want the best of the best of the best of the best in the executive branch. I don't want people that's just okay. I don't want seat fillers. I don't want puppets. Democrats don't care, though. They put anybody in there because they don't allow the person in charge to be in charge. The person in charge is a figurehead. And the staffers behind the scenes, they run the show. So in 2028, they're going to try to run Gavin first. But Gavin is weird. All these little hand movements and extra stuff. It's like, are you a member of Backstreet Boys or you're trying to be the president? Are you a member of NSYNC or are you the governor of California? Okay, because I can't tell. I don't know what's going on. I feel like during one interview it's going to be Backstreet's back. I feel like he's going to do that. And you know what? It'd be really funny if he had, if in his 2028 campaign, he hires them to do any of his stops. You heard it here first. Gavin might bring them out. And if he does that, I'm like, okay, I already see what's going on here. You had a Backstreet Boys poster on your wall or something like this. I don't know what's going on, Gavin, but I'm not really a fan. They're going to try to run him. And if that doesn't work, they are going to try to run AOC. They might run them together. It might have her be the vice president. That'd be ridiculous, man. Totally ridiculous. She can't put two words together. He's weird. He's strange, but he has that name recognition. He has that power, the connections. He has the resume. He has that working in his favor. But who's going to be their nominee if it's not Gavin and or AOC or a combination of them? I don't think I will ever see a female president ever. And I don't think the Democrats would run a woman if they had a better choice. They tried it in the last couple of times. I don't understand why they're doing that. It's kind of like they're throwing the election. Hillary had no chance. Well, they had to get the 1,000-year-old white man in there. But now they want to go back to AOC. Nah, they're going to try to do Gavin. But who do you think is going to be the nominee in 2028 from the Republican and from the Democrat? Y'all let me know. Okay, hold on. Let me see. I'm lucky Tim Cass is not good tonight. Why is that? I think ABL should take over JLP. Why would I want to do that? Christopher, what's going on, Christopher? You good, man? Like, what's up with these random statements, man? Are you okay? Am I allergic to tobacco? A tobacco allergy, bro? Do you have a mental illness? What's happening? All right, let me stop. Let me read some of this here. Yes, she did talk about Jewish space lasers, and they had approached her about that on The View, and she said, well, you know what? I got food back then. I didn't really know any better. Oh, okay. So you're telling me that you're not necessarily that strong of mind, and you want me to vote for you to be the president in 2028? I think not, man. Look, we want the best of the best. I don't care what color or nothing. Just give me the best, period, to be the president. To be a House rep, you can do that role without being the best of the best, and it's okay. As long as you do that role well, that's all that really matters. When you want to get beyond that and do something else, it doesn't really work out that way. You know, it don't work out that way. So yeah, we getting on the Epstein files. We most certainly get on the Epstein files. Vance Rubio of course. For us, JD Vance, Marco Rubio. I like Marco, to be totally honest with you, better than JD Vance. I like Marco better than JD. I like JD, but he's still kind of rough around the edges. I understand when they say they don't want an Appalachia guy. I get it, because that might not appeal to the entire country. You got to be kind of like, you got to kind of have that mainstream appeal. And I say that as an Appalachia guy. I understand, JD. I get it. But you got to have that mainstream appeal. And I think Marco has it. And he has the advantage of being Hispanic. I know he peeked the panty very well. I'm sure JD peeked the panty as well. But I think Marco, obviously, as a Cuban, will have a better connection. And he's good at what he does. He's sharp when he speaks, straight to the point, no BS, very serious. Okay, very well-mannered. Him and his wife, good couple. I like him. I like Marco to be the president in 2028. I like him. Although I do like JD, as of right now, I like Marco better. But I think it'll make more sense to run JD because he's the vice president. So we'll see how that works. We will see how that works. So maybe what'll make more sense is JD with Marco as a vice. And then once JD is finished with his consecutive terms, perhaps, let's let Marco run and be the president at that time. How old is Marco right now anyway? He's got to be about, what, 48 years old? 54, okay. He looks much younger than his age. So let's say 56 and 57 in 2028, and there's 8 terms. So you'll be there until when? What, 65? Did I get that math right? And then you can run for president at 65. That's not bad. So by the time you're finished being the president, you'll be, 73? Yeah, 73. So I think that'll make sense. For sure. I think that will make sense. All right. Let me see. Leslie says, ABL, will the U.S. elect a president whose wife is Muslim Islam? I don't think that really matters. I don't think that matters. That's a good question. I guess that's about JD. I'm not quite sure that matters because she's not like, she's not wearing the beekeeper outfit or nothing like that, or a hijab, as far as I know. So I don't think it'll matter. As long as she just looks regular, it's okay. But that's a very good question. If she was like wearing the beekeeper outfit, absolutely not. No way in the world would that ever work. Could you ever, there's no way you could run for president and your wife got on the Allahu Akbar special from Amazon. No, sorry, Bob. Okay. No, Trump will not run. I don't understand why anybody want to say that. You got to have 2 terms and that's it. And even if Trump did run, nobody would, I'm not saying nobody would vote for him, but we would largely reject it. The Democrats would soundly reject it. Republicans would reject it. There would be a very core base of people that would vote for him, but nah, it's not possible. You got 2 terms and that's it. Okay. If she's not Muslim, she's Hindu. Okay. Well, there we go. Okay. So she's not even Muslim, so it don't matter. The religion doesn't matter. Muslim, Hindu, none of that really matters. And to be totally honest with you, it doesn't matter if she's Christian. She could just say a few things, praise God, all this, that, because Trump ain't necessarily the biggest Christian in the world. I don't see Trump as evangelical type of, he's not really that kind of guy. Remember the whole thing with the photo op when the church had burned? And then he said 2 Corinthians or whatever. And it's okay. It's okay because I'm not voting for the Pope now. I want you to be the president and run the country. I don't need you to be Mr. Religious and try to preach me from the pulpit or nothing like that. I need you to go out there and get trade deals done. I need you to go out there and protect the nation. I need you to go out there and get the illegal aliens up out of here. I need you for that. I don't need you to be my Lord and Savior. That ain't, you already got one of them. We don't need another one. I'm not a fan of Tulsi. Tulsi's a little bit too culty, in my humble opinion. Just my humble opinion. I don't like her, for real. She's okay, but not to be. I like her in the role of like support. Okay, like her role now, whatever it is in the federal government, stay doing that. Okay, stay doing that. That's kind of where you are the best served. Just like Marjorie Taylor Greene, her role is to be a House rep in Georgia, voting for what we got to vote for, voting for the MAGA agenda in the government. That's your role. When you want to get beyond that and start trying to run for this and that and the third, but you have no chance, it's like you need to just kind of get recentered and understand who you are. And maybe if you improve who you are, if you improve your ability to speak, if you improve your knowledge of certain things, then you're able to go to a higher station. But beyond that, I think not. Just stay where you at. Okay, sell the country. What does that mean? I can't pronounce your name. You got a bunch of vowels that don't make sense together, so I'm not going to try to pronounce it and butcher it. KP, I'm going to say that. You got 14 letters in your first name, so I'm going to just say KP. Vivek is Hindu. And Vivek, I like Vivek, but he has no chance at all. I like him a lot. Vivek is probably the sharpest guy of the bunch. The problem is he's Indian, and he's super Indian. He don't even look like, kind of like, not even like a Narendra Modi if he was young. He looks straight like Quickie Mart. And don't nobody get offended, please. Shout out to the Indians. I love the Indian people. Great culture, great food. I love y'all a lot. The music, hey, great music. Everything is great. But as I've said before, this is America where we are used to black and white and Mexican, but really black and white. That's what we're used to. Okay, Native American, Mexican, but once you get into Chinese and Indian, we don't know you. We don't know your characteristics. We don't know your tendencies. Okay, we don't know that. We're seeing Cash Patel do a good job in the FBI, but we're starting to see some weaknesses. Cash, what's up with your girlfriend, bro? You having a whole FBI SWAT team to provide her with security detail? What part of the game is that, bro? What's that all about? You're doing a good job beyond that, in my opinion, but you have some tendencies. See, and we don't know your tendencies because we don't know your people. You say you're an American, but you just got here. So how much of Americana do you really have in you at this moment? We receive you as an American citizen, and we appreciate how you've come into the country and you've contributed and you've been a good citizen. We appreciate that from all of people that come over here recently. But there's a reason why you got to be a natural born citizen. I know Vivek is, but you understand what I'm saying. There's a reason why you got to be a natural born citizen and you must have lived here for a certain number of years, because what you don't want is an outsider to come in who you really don't know to come in and mess things up down the line. They might start off good and then down the line they do some of you. So Vivek is kind of in that same ballpark, the same category. We don't really know you all the way. And you said some things that might be a little bit offensive about Americans and how we're not really doing as well as we were in the past. That right there, he's correct about that, but at the same time, he is not giving you the full story. He ain't talking about NAFTA. He's not talking about a lot of things that happen to us as Americans that got us where we are right now. In Ohio, for example, where he's from, right? The drug epidemic was caused on purpose. It was done on purpose by Big Pharma. They dumped drugs in Appalachia, my home, on purpose. It was an experiment. They did that on purpose. There was all kind of there's documentaries about the pill mills that they were just setting up. A doctor would just go out there and just sell drugs just because. Why not? That literally happened. So in the place where you had a bunch of hardworking people worked at the factory, and that's what they did every day, got up, went to work, took care of their family. Now you got drug addiction, homelessness, poverty, Rust Belt. There's a reason for that. It's not just because. We didn't just say one day, you know what? That working stuff, we got to stop that. Also, right now, with the lack of working spirit in many Americans, where did that come from? That came from what they did with COVID-19. And we all predicted it. When you give people money to stay home and do nothing, you're incentivizing people to do nothing. And it's hard to get them out of that. I was watching one video where somebody said it. They were like, you know what? You got to work 40 hours to get 100% of the money you could get, or don't work and get 85%. Why would you work 40 hours to get 15% more? You're not really going to be in a much better place. Now, obviously, if you work, you can build yourself up from that level and get higher. But the government benefits had you comfortable right now to stay home and do nothing. It was incentivized. You got NAFTA, you got the drugs, you got the free government monies, all the benefits. That was a combination that allowed everybody to sit in their high parts to do nothing. And then you got the food in the grocery store. That's why I'm glad we have RFK to try and get that fixed. All the big back stuff got to go. So yeah, there's a lot more to it than what Vivek said. But I like him. He's a smart guy, although he has no chance to become the president because he's Indian, and we don't really know those people as Americans fully like enough to be comfortable with electing a guy like that. It's just the truth. I'm not trying to be racist. Personally, I don't really care. I say get the best guy in there, but I understand Americans. I understand who we are, and it's okay. It's okay. I'm not trying to judge. I'm just saying that's just the reality of what it is. Ali Fox says, I never put this together till now. They pushed the pills in Appalachia. The same time they signed NAFTA, those people lost their jobs, but they had them on pills to see how they acted. It was an experiment. They did it. It literally happened just like that. Okay? And then they want to talk about, oh, we got to have green energy. Green energy. Oh, okay. Well, the more green energy you have, the more coal you're going to burn, because what's going to power these big hulking data centers? These data centers are behemoths. I'm talking about, there was a movie I saw, I forget what it was, but it was an alien spaceship. Shout out to you if you're watching. It's an alien spaceship, and its source of energy was to draw water from the earth. Like, I'm talking about it hover over an ocean and just suck up all the water. That's what a data center is. That's kind of how it operates. Dirty, uses a lot of drinking water, contaminates local water. But hey, you get faster speeds on your cell phone while you browsing TikTok. All right. Say you don't trust Vance. Yeah, I'm not using racial slur to talk to the Indians. I ain't gonna say that. Marshall says, I'm an engineer. Data centers are big money. Hey, that's where the money at. That's where the money at. And they also got a really big AI boom. So the AI boom is also fueling the data centers, because that's where your AI power comes from, is a data center. All right. Yeah, shout out to Alien Spaceship, 100%. Nobody forced them to take pills. Well, actually, that's not necessarily true, Patrick, because what happened was, okay, if somebody gets hurt in an accident, all of a sudden, okay, here's this brand new thing called fentanyl. Take that. Says your doctor. Will it hurt me? You'll be all right. Now you got a dope fiend. That's how that happened. So, I mean, a doctor didn't force him to lay down and get to, become hooked on opioids, but they went to their doctor who they trust for medical advice after an injury, and they were given bad advice. Now you have people that are hooked on the drugs. And also sometimes you had doctors that would just straight up sell drugs and say it's okay. So we got to kind of zoom out on that and understand what's really going on. All right, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yep, that's right, GB. Fool pain clinics. Yep. Boomhauer says some pills is something else. Hey, them pill mills, man, I tell you what, a crack house in 2025 or whenever you might see it. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. No difference. An AI president. You know the funny thing about AI? I'm going to say this. People give AI a little bit too much credit, and they give themselves not enough credit. You don't understand how smart you are, how intelligent, resilient, brilliant, innovative. You don't understand all of who you are as a human being. AI at this point is it's like toys. It's toys, really. It's nothing that can really replace humanity. Not quite yet. Maybe in a distant future, but no, not in our lifetime. Not in our lifetime. It's not going to be quite that way, in my humble opinion. All right. So yeah, shout out to you guys. John says, we don't sleep with our phones in our room. 5G. I get it. But yeah, AI is overrated. It's overrated. And I feel like it's kind of clunky, it's cumbersome. I think at best it'll just be a tool that we use that will be more advanced than other tools that we have. I don't think it's going to be a thing that replaces humanity, that we're going to be put in the Matrix pod. I don't I don't see that happening anytime soon. I hit a nerve. Is that right? To live. To live and die in peace. Okay, I got your name. That's right, NRN. AI cannot turn a wrench. Atomic Tabasco says not after AI, AGI, ASI end of next year. In the year next year. We gonna see. We'll see coming up next year. Whatever's going to happen, I'm ready for it. Did that what's the name already pass? That comet, what was that? The 3-eye atlas, is that done with? I've not seen any of those videos. I've not seen any more atlas videos on my timeline. I've not watched any, but knowing they just pop up, I see it. It's like, has that already passed? Are we done with that? B. Gatlin says, think I'm being negative. I'm being naive on AI. Nah, I don't think I'm being naive. I think people like Sam Altman, is that his name? The AI guy? I think they just kind of pushing hysteria to promote their product so they can get more money. Relentless says, a tool to enhance your work ethic and leverage to get your tasks done. Correct. Hey, we're right here, Relentless. We're right on the same page. Because ultimately, I think what's going to have to happen is we got to improve as human beings, using what we already have inside of us. And I think AI would be a good tool to get that part of us out so we can use it and be better as human beings. That's going to be the result of AI. I think it'd be a net positive, although there will be negatives, but we'll see. Bruce says AI lacks random. Benford's Law. Atlas did not break up. Fire Mission says AI can change an alternator and a starter, or it can't change it. I know what you meant, Fire Mission. Tony says, ABL, do you believe in aliens? Do you think we're alone? I definitely don't think we're alone. I think there's probably extraterrestrials and also things here on Earth we don't know about. Things here on Earth we really don't even you might see animals and don't even know all about what's going on. But we're going to see, man. I think what's going to happen with AI, we'll just become more intelligent overall. We'll have more information, more knowledge. It'd be like going from stone tools to more advanced tools to using oil, electricity, stuff like that. But anyway, we'll get to AI a little bit later because Elon said a few things about that, talking about, hey, you know what? In a few years, ain't nobody going to work. It's optional if you want to work or not. But we'll see how the whole thing goes. We shall see. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Elon's an alien, is that right? Who was that said that? I think Candace or somebody. I didn't watch the video, but I read it, where she was saying that people like Elon and whatnot are like hybrids. It's like, all right, I think we're all human beings. We were all created, as a creator said, and we were all created differently. I think it might have been 3 main races that were created: the black, the white, and like the Native American type people, like the Mexicans, natives, them. I think that was how it happened. And then there was like variations. But anyway, we'll get to all that a little bit later. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Also, this video is brought to you by patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the box, or go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to my merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We get the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. I have full-length articles for each long-form video that I produce, and in each article, we got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, the political, agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. They'll be able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you think you're speaking to me on the interwebs or not, It's probably somebody else pretending to be me, unless you emailed me through my email, which is contact@anthonyblogan.com. Y'all already know who will be on the other end of that email or that WhatsApp message. Look, if somebody giving you a WhatsApp number and a YouTube comment, automatic red flag. Contact the WhatsApp number now. I'll give you the monies today. That's what the guy is saying on the other end of the phone. You on the video thinking it's me talking at you. Whole time it's Adewale Ogunleye from River State, Nigeria. I almost have them in my closest right now. I almost have them. They believe that they're ABL for real. Don't fall into that trap. Please don't do it. And if it's not Adewale from Abuja, it's going to be Boris from Ukraine. It's going to be Raj Patel from India. Please don't do it. We don't have time for that. Epstein files. Let's get to it. So Pam Bondi says that all of what's in the Epstein files will be released within 30 days. Now, here's my question. I got two questions. Are we kicking the can down the road, and will we have heavy redactions? But one more question. Will the release of the files change anything? That's my question. Okay, what's going on?
On the Epstein files, does the new investigation by the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney prevent the department from releasing all of the remaining files?
So we have released over 33,000 Epstein documents to the Hill, and we'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency. Also, we will always encourage all victims to come forward.
What are the next steps, Madam Attorney General, for the DOJ regarding what we assume President Trump will sign into law with the Epstein files? Is this going to be on the Justice Department website? What are you doing here over the next 30 days as we understand it?
We will continue to follow the law with maximum transparency while protecting victims.
Yeah. When you say follow the law, Madam Attorney General, do you mean that you will provide all the files by 30 days?
We will follow the law. The law passed both chambers last evening. It has not yet been signed, but we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
Now, one thing about protecting victims that they want to do, she kept repeating that, because you can't show everything in the files because you got some inappropriate stuff featuring children in the files you cannot show to the general public. Clearly, you can't do that. So some things are going to have to be redacted in the files. And I should hope that we will understand that and nobody will try to push to get that stuff released. Okay. So I think that's what she was talking about. Now, as we learn more about this stuff, the Democrats got a lot of dirt, a lot of skeletons in their closet. There's a lot going on with the Democrats that maybe they don't want y'all to know about. Now, look, first, this right here that you're going to see from Jasmine Crockett is wrong, but also it's pretty interesting because there's someone next to her in the video who has a big, crazy, giant skeleton in her closet. Okay. Now, you can't see the person right now because of the way the video is. Let me just zoom out. Let me just zoom out and show you a different way. And then I'm going to zoom back in. Matter of fact, hold on. So you see the person right there. Let's hear what Jasmine got to say. Then we're going to talk about this person. And before we talk about that person, we got to talk about why what Jasmine said is wrong.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous. You just folks.
Okay. Now, she named quite a few names right there. Republican recipients of Epstein money, or they knew him or something was going on. She mentioned Lee Zeldin. There's just one problem, Jasmine Crockett. A person named Jeffrey Epstein did donate to Lee Zeldin's campaign in 2020. The problem is the Epstein you're talking about was dead in 2019. The person you're talking about who gave the money is a different guy, a doctor named Jeffrey Epstein. Now we're just putting out regular innocent people like they did something wrong. You see what I'm saying? See, this right here is what we talk about. This whole Epstein file thing, you getting innocent people smeared for no reason. Well, it's a reason. You want to try to prove a point. You want to try to say, oh, look at the Republicans. They got dirt on their hands. You might want to do a little bit of fact checking. Your team, what's going on with your team? What kind of team do you have up there in DC? A bunch of idiots. A little bit of fact checking. Hey, this donation we can see publicly came from somebody in 2020. Jeffrey Epstein was dead in 2019. Logically speaking, somebody should have said, hey, wait a minute. How is that possible? Maybe, just maybe, it's not the same guy. But anyway, hold on. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, there's somebody in the video I wanted to show you. Like I showed you from the beginning. Let me just go back. This person right here. Okay, right next to Jasmine, a Democrat. Okay, she has her connections to Epstein, and we have documentation, and she even admitted it. She was texting him during a trial. Matter of fact, I'm going to just let them say it. Okay, I'm going to just let them say it. Okay.
I believe
Stacey Plaskett from the Virgin Islands. Okay, House Rep from the Virgin Islands.
I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information, and I was going to get information to get at the truth. Having a friendship with him is not something that I would deem to have. And so I'm just looking forward. I'm moving forward. And I think that that's what we as American people should do, is move forward. If individuals are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things, I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes.
So it's okay. Look, she was texting a known sex offender after he was convicted, but it's okay because, you know, people commit crime and it's okay. Like he's not the only one that commits crime, right? Okay. Now, if this was President Trump texting Epstein, asking for advice, stuff like that, there wouldn't be any kind of grace given. There wouldn't be anything other than you are the same as him. You need to go to the penitentiary.
And as a prosecutor, you get information from people where you can. I believe that.
There we go. So again, that is Stacey Plaskett admitting to texting Epstein, trying to get information, trying to get, and I think it was during the trial or something. She was texting him, trying to, you know, get information to help her out with what she had going on. That's fine though, right? That's fine. This is going to be House Democrat Minority Whip Catherine Clark defending Stacey Plaskett, who we just saw. So you guys want the Epstein files to come out on the left, but it seems like I got some problems with the Epstein files yourself. Now you want to try to distance yourself from it. Nah, y'all press for the Epstein file so hard, whatever comes out of it, y'all got to own it.
Was it an error in judgment to text Jeffrey Epstein during a hearing?
You know, I take Stacey Plaskett at her word, and
Would you have done the same thing?
I don't. I also agree with her that Jeffrey Epstein is reprehensible, and that's her word, and I agree with her.
Was it an error in judgment?
All right, there we go. So it's okay. Look, don't let them tell you on the left they really care about the Epstein files. They don't care. All they care about is using it as a weapon. And as I said earlier, they don't care about collateral damage. Stacey Plaskett, Hakeem Jeffries, whoever's in the Epstein files is okay. As long as we're able to use it as a way to try to, you know, create a distraction or to attack Donald Trump and the MAGAs, it's okay. If we get hurt in the process, then so be it. Okay? Look, bomb the whole facility. We got our soldiers there, but it's fine because we got a target right there. That's the mentality. Let's keep going here. So here is Hakeem Jeffries being asked about Stacey Plaskett. Have you talked to her about the Epstein files? Like, what's really going on? And this was today.
Have you spoken to Stacey Plaskett after this controversy emerged?
I have not.
Can you confirm if there was a deal last night to sink the resolution against Congressman Plaskett in exchange for not bringing a censure resolution?
We've made clear repeatedly we're not going to unilaterally disarm.
So you're saying there was no deal?
I'm saying we will not unilaterally disarm. Not now, not ever.
Mr. Leader, why wouldn't you speak to Stacey Plaskett?
I said I haven't spoken to her since the censure resolution went down.
No, about this text controversy.
I have not spoken to her since the censure resolution went down.
Have you talked to her about this text controversy?
She and I have talked, and it's a private conversation that will remain private.
One thing, have you spoken to?
All right, there we go. So that's Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries is a guy who is able to speak well, but it's like a robot. It's like an android. If AI could create a House rep, it'd be Hakeem Jeffries. That's kind of what it seems like. Real robotic. You know, I don't know. The face and everything is like Terminator. You understand what I'm saying? No emotion, no spirit, no soul. But that's Democrats for you right there. Anyway, let's keep rocking here.
Colleague.
So this is going to be about Hakeem Jeffries trying to get money from Epstein after Epstein had already been convicted on child sex trafficking.
Colleagues' coordination with Epstein. Another email shows Democrat fundraisers invited Epstein to an event or to meet privately with Hakeem Jeffries as part of their 2013 effort to win a majority. So Hakeem Jeffries' campaign solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we found in the last document batch. The files underscore why former President Trump must appear for his deposition. We've subpoenaed him. To date, the Democrats have done nothing to help us secure his appearance. I support full transparency. The Oversight Committee will continue to work to get the truth to the American people and to get justice for the victims. That's our goal of this investigation. With that, I yield back.
There we go. So Hakeem, Stacey, Jasmine, all these people, like, what are y'all really doing? We told y'all, well, I told them to leave the whole Epstein thing alone. I said that months ago, but they didn't want to listen. Okay, now you got to deal with it. Now you got to deal with it. Okay, good look on the midterms, Hakeem, Mr. Minority House Leader. Now, this is about Marjorie a little bit. I'm going to show Marjorie. This is going to be Scott Jennings over on CNN breaking down how the whole thing happened. Now, we know kind of what's happening with Marjorie. She's upset that Trump did not want to endorse her to run for Senate or governor in Georgia. But Trump was correct to do that because she's not good beyond where she's at. She's good to be a House rep, going out there, being a good MAGA, voting for the MAGA agenda. But when you're in a real leadership role or a role beyond where you are, you're not going to do very well. And the people of Georgia know it, which is why there was a poll that had her 20 points behind John Ossoff, who is a Democrat. If you're 20 points behind John Ossoff, a Democrat who won really when he shouldn't have won, the reason why John Ossoff won was kind of a mistake on our part, because what happened was the 2020 election where Trump said it was rigged. And then there was like another vote after the election was over with, some kind of special election. And then we didn't show up because we were demoralized because Trump said it was rigged. Truthfully, he should not be in that seat. I'm not going to totally blame Trump, but I think that was part of it for sure. If not for that, I don't think that her or Raphael Warnock could win. But let's watch this.
Technically true, based on what I've heard and what I know, that he didn't tell her not to run. But what she didn't say was that he sent her a poll privately, discreetly, and it had information in it. And it showed her down 20 points to John Ossoff. And so in politics, when you want to send a message to someone that you like or that has been an ally, you don't embarrass them publicly. You privately send them information and show them what the reality is. And so I think it's true that he didn't tell her not to run, but it's also true that he did her a big favor, which is to show her information that a candidacy statewide in Georgia for her would have been a disaster.
Of course, it would have been terrible. Everybody know that. She wouldn't have been a good person to run for a statewide. You're good in Rome, Georgia. You're good to go to DC, vote for the MAGA agenda, but you want to try to get Atlanta? Impossible. Impossible. You want to try to get anywhere, Warner Robins? I just don't see it. All right. So here she is talking about Epstein. I think this might have been, this was before they said, go ahead and release it. This is from yesterday.
Every single member of Congress. It should have been the easiest thing for the Speaker of the House. It should have been the easiest thing for the President of the United States to release all the information, every single file, on behalf of these American women. These American women aren't rich, powerful elites. They do not have someone every single.
Don't way too much talking. Way entirely too much talking. Just don't. You don't even really got to talk for real. Why are you giving speeches on the House floor? You know, we have a House rep here by the name of Chuck Fleischman. Do you know who he is? No, you don't. It don't matter because his job is not to be doing all this grandstanding and bloviating and stuff like this. Trying to be self-important, self-aggrandizing, trying to go to a higher station, social climb like you did with your husband. Look, man, just go and do your job. That's what I want you to do, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, now, my man, Captain Hair Plugs, Jamie Raskin, he's defending Marjorie Taylor Greene. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up, okay? Now, remember Jamie Raskin. I know why I call him Captain Hair Plugs. And if you don't know, I'm going to give you a quick rundown before we continue. Jamie Raskin said he had cancer, and for a while, he was wearing this headband or bandana type situation out there on the House floor. Okay, you would see him like this all the time, right? And I'm like, man, why's he got to wear that? Oh, he has cancer, ABL's getting treatment. After the head wrap came off, this fool had a brand new head of hair. It's like, bro, you masked your hair transplant surgery with cancer. You're terrible, bro. You are terrible. How you gonna come back from cancer with a bandana on with a full head of hair? Hey, bro, look, man, I'm bald. You can be bald too, man. It's okay. It's fine. It's 2025. We're not gonna judge you. John Fetterman looking like a whole ogre. It's okay. John Fetterman looks like an ogre ate Adam Sandler. But I still respect him because of what he says. I don't care about how he looks. Anyway, I'm getting triggered. So my man, Jamie Raskin, is defending Marjorie Taylor Greene. Hey, come join us. Why not?
Let me just say a couple more things to you great Florida Democrats. One of them is we are a big tent. We must be a huge, vast tent. I say this is a party that's got room for Marjorie Taylor Greene if she wants to come over. We got room for anybody who wants to stand up for the Constitution and for the Bill of Rights today. One of my colleagues who left from South Carolina, Trey Gowdy, said to me on the way out, he said, you know, Raskin, you're not a bad guy. The problem with you is you're a liberal. I said, you're damn right I'm a liberal. The heart of that word is liberty. And I'm a progressive because the heart of that word is progress. But my favorite thing to call myself today is a conservative because I want to conserve the land, the air, the water, the climate system, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, Social Security.
Ah! Hey, cap it one of them right there. It'd be perfect.
Medicare, Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act, the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, the National Labor Relations Act, the Fair Labor Standards Act, the Voting Rights Act, Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, everything that party of authoritarians wants to destroy is everything we're going to conserve and defend in America. We are the party of the conservatives, the liberals, and the progressives. All the patriots today are in the party of democracy.
All right, there we go. Jamie Raskin, ladies and gentlemen, with a beautiful head of hair. Hey, man, where you go for that? You went to Turkey? You went to some other country? Like, where you go? Colombia? For that beautiful head of hair? Hey, that's hair goals. When I get to... Anyway, I'm triggered. I am so triggered. But yeah, shout out to him. Bro, that's what y'all got over on the left. Jimmy Raskin. Man, it's slim pickings. Oh, and here he is defending Stacey Plaskett, who was texting Jeffrey Epstein. You cannot make this stuff up. I promise. R.I.P. Kevin Samuels.
Well,
all right, hold on. Let me throw it on the screen right quick. Oh, you want to hear that? Yeah. Okay, hold on. But before I keep going, y'all got to hear the infamous scream because y'all in the comments asking for it.
You know something?
This is Howard Dean, 2004, with the infamous yeah. You got to hear that if you did catch my reference earlier.
You had told us 1 year ago that we were going to come in third in Iowa. Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
Hey, look at Pops in the back. Yeah, that'll do it. Hey, he was all the way. Look at his face, bro. Your face is like 1,000 shades darker than the rest of your body. You were turned all the way up. You were doing too much. Hey, take a chill pill, man. I don't know if that's cocaine or what's going on, but take a relaxer and just calm yourself down. That's what Jamie Raskin did. I don't know what it is. Hey. It must be some type of situation. Maybe that's what they found in that locker, right? Last year, whenever that was, they found something in the locker. Oh, that's Hunter Biden's. Nah, that's all of them. That's how they get down. We saw that one dude up there. What was that? Boston, bringing in bricks of coke to the state house. I mean, I'm just saying. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video. You know the rest. Okay, here he is defending Stacey Plaskett, who is a Democrat, texting Jeffrey Epstein for advice during the trial, I believe. Let's watch.
Well, they want to give them another headline, which is that they've arraigned a Democratic member for taking a phone call from her constituent, Jeffrey Epstein, in the middle of a hearing. And of course, I don't think there's any rule here against taking phone calls in a hearing.
Jamie, Captain Hair Plugs. If Trump is on the phone with Jeffrey Epstein during the hearing, that wouldn't be cause for concern. Y'all wouldn't be trying to get him subpoenaed. Y'all tried to get Trump locked up or in some kind of way in trouble for saying that his own property costs a certain amount of money. So please spare me the nonsense.
Now, if you want to actually give her the chance to explain what happened, then we would take it to the ethics committee. I still don't see what the charge is. Where is the ethical transgression? Where is the legal transgression? Are you saying anybody on your side of the aisle who had a phone call with Jeffrey Epstein should be censured? Be careful your answer there, because there's a lot more that's about to come out, right? So you should think about what is the principle behind this rush to judgment. I want to close just with this thought, because I know there were a lot of people in the chamber who were here when this happened and a lot who weren't. Well, they want to give them...
All right, there we go. So, Captain Hair Plug, CHP. I'm going to call you CHP for short. CHP, come on, man. Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all been the biggest cheerleaders trying to get this stuff released, and then once it gets released, you want to try to wiggle your way out of it. Now, here's Megyn Kelly talking about Katie Couric and Doris Papadopoulos having dinner with Epstein at his house after he had already pleaded guilty to the child sex crime stuff.
Here's our...
Because you know, Megyn Kelly, she was in the news media, like in the real rooms. Like right now, she's doing Sirius and stuff like that. But at one point, she was Fox and ABC, NBC. She was in that world, so her viewpoint is going to be a little bit different than a normie.
Here's what I want to know. Why was Katie Couric, why was George Stephanopoulos at Epstein's home in 2010, chumming it up, having dinner with him after he pleaded guilty to solicitation of sex with a minor, which, as I've said countless times, is not a thing. There's no such thing as a minor prostitute. That's rape. That's what that is. But they allowed him to plead guilty to that. It was on the record. And by the way, Katie Couric knows full well that you cannot solicit a minor prostitute. That's rape. So does George Stephanopoulos. He's really big on cross-examining Nancy Mace on how Trump raped E. Jean Carroll, which is a lie that cost ABC News $16 million. So George Stephanopoulos knows full well the definition of that word, and yet he went anyway. Those two journalists, NBC and ABC respectively, went and sat with Jeffrey Epstein at his home where these alleged crimes occurred for dinner, knowing all of that. And these holier-than-thou media outlets like CNN, The Daily Beast, and so on, where is their outrage about that? Truly, why aren't they asking questions about people like that who openly fraternized with him? You know, I will give a shout out to Tina Brown of the Daily Beast on one thing. She wrote some interesting profile on why all these celebs had zero problem fraternizing with Jeffrey Epstein, even after we knew he was a pervert and a rapist. And it was basically they don't care. The only thing they don't want to be seen around, she wrote, is people who are poor. They were more interested in rubbing elbows with the rich guy, notwithstanding his love of raping young people.
Well, there we go. So I'm just really confused about this whole Epstein thing. It's like, who are the people that are really going to be exposed by this? Like, I think, again, the Democrats, the left, they're dumb. They're like kamikaze pilots. They don't really care who they hurt. They don't care if they hurt themselves as long as they hurt you. That's a very dangerous person. Someone who is self-destructive in the objective, with the objective of hurting you. That's, you can't, how can you really defeat that? How could, if you defeat them, it don't even matter because they want to just defeat you. It's like a Allahu Akbar, you know, put the vest on and go, it's like that. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that helped me out tremendously. Now, this was an interesting moment right here. This is back on CNN. And they're talking about a few different things. But it's not really about what was being spoken about. It's about the reaction. I'm going to need some of you guys out there to stop being so soft. Stop being so soft. You guys watching are not soft, but we know who I'm talking about. A lot of softies out there that can't take anything. They want to start crying immediately when they get offended. Let's stop doing that.
Scott, you keep saying, well, he didn't do anything. There's no indication of criminality. If that's true, he should be elated that we're putting these things out.
If that's true, it is true. Can you name any evidence?
I would like to see the evidence. What I'm saying is...
You think after 10 years of public life, you wouldn't know it already?
No, I don't. That's exactly the point.
Oh, my goodness.
Scott,
this is an IQ test. Don't fail it. Come on, man.
Scott,
10 years Donald Trump has been in public life.
That's embarrassing.
Come on.
Scott, it is an IQ test. I mean, for 10 years, we haven't heard any names. So you really think that no one's involved?
No, obviously, Larry Summers was involved, Stacey Plaskett was involved. There's all kinds of people involved with Jeffrey Epstein.
If someone was...
Just real quick, I just want to bring it back to something that just happened. I feel like I just heard Scott call into question this black man's intelligence with the IQ test.
That's what
you soft. You are soft. So, because Scott Jennings said something about the IQ test, don't fail it, you think he's trying to say that he's black and he got a low IQ and he don't understand? Is that kind of what you're talking about? You soft. That's your opinion because you internalizing that. You got offended. That's what happened. You got offended because you soft. Let's keep going.
I feel like I heard that. And so I just want to say something. This is what it sounded like.
You want to make it racial, go ahead, but it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I think that...
By the way, we know each other and we're friends. I know this man. He's a smart guy, and we're having a debate. We're having a debate. Don't make it into so. We don't even know each other, but we do.
This actually relates back to the topic that we're having, Scott. There is you're sitting here with so much confidence.
You're also a hater because Scott is confident. He's confident because he's an intelligent person and he knows what he's talking about. That's where you get confidence from. Maybe if you were to follow his shoes and copy him, you could be smart and you could be confident as well. But since you are not, you are feeling insecure and you soft. See, CNN, one thing they do, they bring on soft guys like this because, I don't know, man, like the aggressive type of energy they don't really want from the men. That's what I noticed. If you're going to be a black male on there, they want you to be a leftist or just soft in general. Scott, they allow him to be on there because he's able to just defeat everybody very easily. But he's the only one that's kind of allowed to do that.
Without seeing all of the documents that Donald Trump is innocent, there is a presumption of guilt that a black man walks around the United States with, that I have been watching Donald Trump navigate this situation with the presumption of innocence that is never afforded to us.
What do you mean? Trump, they call Trump everything but a child of God. Everything. You've been impeached twice for the most bogus charges. They try to get him locked up on the most ridiculous stuff ever. Hunter Biden smoked crack on camera with a gun and nothing happened. And it wasn't even really a thing to try to get him arraigned. It was like, whatever. You can do whatever you want. You're the president's son. Trump said, my house is worth X. They said, no, it's not. Pay me $500 million. What are you talking about, bro? Who is this dude? Do y'all know him?
Right? This is the same guy that is trailing 29 rape allegations. And we have videos of him saying things like, grab him by the you-know-what. Just the...
Bro, hey, man, back to the drawing board, bro. Back to the drawing board. All the muscles but soft as cotton. Go ahead, man. Hey, whose cousin is that? Get him off camera. Get him a blankie and a passy and tell him that everything going to be all right. All right, we got Ambassador Mike Waltz with Nicki Minaj. Okay, now Nicki, of course, rapper extraordinaire, queen of rap. She spoke at the UN for the Christian Nigerians. That's been the big thing that's been going on for a long time. People want to criticize her. Oh, the U.S. just wants rare earths from Nigeria. Please. If you want to go to Nigeria and get rare earths, we could just ask them. We could just strike a deal. We don't got to go in there and invade. China does that. China will invade you for your rare earths. Not even invade. What China does is they would just take them on GP. And then the Nigerians or the Ghanaians or whoever got to go find them and get them expelled out of the country. I've seen videos of Chinese people working in mines illegally in Africa, having to get kicked out by the African nations themselves. So anybody trying to get rare earths from Nigeria by invading them? The whole thing with the Christians in Nigeria been going on for a long time. I reported on that many years ago. Boko Haram. That's been a thing that's been happening for years and years and years. And you know what? Let me just say this right now before I get to this video. There's not a lot you can do to stop it. I mean, you could bring awareness to it, and maybe that might kind of get them shook up because they might think that it might be something that happens. But ultimately, fighting is going to happen regardless. You could try to mitigate it or reduce it. But when you have Christians and Muslims in close proximity, there will be fighting. That's what the Islamics do. They're going to hit you with a terror attack. It is what it is. Not all, but enough to where it's a problem. But anyway, was she a Spice Girl? No, she was not a Spice Girl. That's funny. That's Mel B. And Mel B is from the UK. Nicki from New York City.
Ambassador Mike Waltz here with the amazing...
Actually, she's from Trinidad, but she's just like Winston Earl Sears, a Caribbean that grew up in New York.
Queen.
Let me start from the top.
Ambassador Mike Waltz here with the amazing queen of rap, Nicki Minaj, and I just can't be more thankful to you for putting your spotlight on the persecution, the killing, the devastation that's going on with Christians in Nigeria. The president called it out. Nicki, you've called it out, and then we invited you here to the UN to learn more and to see what we can do to stop this genocide.
Yes, you did, and I am, like I said before many times, I'm honored that you even thought that I would be worthy to be in this caliber of a place. Because, you know, I never thought I would go from rapping to being here, but I'm so happy and proud, and I'm happy that I can speak for Christians, and I will continue to speak for anyone that I feel needs my voice if they are being persecuted. And right now, I'm just wanting to let all of my Nigerian barbs, even if they live in the U.S., I want to let you guys know I love you, and thank you for your stories that made me understand more what was going on. And I will continue lending lending my voice. I hope to see more of you guys lending your voices to it. And like, yeah, let's do the right thing like we've always done. And Ambassador, again, thank you so much. And to, again, President Trump and his entire administration, and to Alex, I just want to thank you guys for being amazing to me and supporting me and helping me, you know, to understand what's going on out there. And I'll continue to learn. I love to learn. And yeah, that's it.
Well, as President Trump has said, this is not about politics. This is about doing what is right. This is a moral duty. And you have given your voice to the voiceless, and God bless you for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There we go. So we got Ambassador Mike Waltz, Nicki Minaj, a.k.a. Onika Mirage, originally from Trinidad, living in the USA since she's been about 5 years old, New York City, and she's out there doing the thing. Somebody said sell out. I mean, these words, sell out. I see words that people say, but they don't really mean anything. It's just when you disagree with someone, you want to call them a name. It's like the narcissist word that got worn out. It's like let's like read a thesaurus. Read a thesaurus, read a dictionary, and learn some new words. How about that? Sure. Now here we got Trump with the Saudis, and it brought up Khashoggi. Remember Khashoggi? Now, so Jamal Khashoggi was a journalist from Saudi who lived in the USA for a while and was a journalist. When he went back over there, he got killed in the he got killed in the Saudi consulate in Turkey. If I'm not saying the right thing. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. I think he got killed in the consulate and dismembered. So yeah, he got killed in Turkey in the Saudi consulate. Yep. That was October 2018. So people are trying to like hold that over their head, but I mean, it's hard to do that when you get a lot of the J6 people who were political prisoners for a long time for not doing anything, for going through a guided tour. We got political prisoners here, people that are innocent who have been killed. It's kind of hard for us to wag the finger. Drone striking kids, it's kind of hard for us to wag the finger because we got our own atrocities that we have done. We could say y'all killed Khashoggi. They're going to say y'all killed how many people in the Middle East just for no reason? WMDs. So
he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
It's just you ask, Mr. President, you allow me to answer. You know, I feel painful about, you know.
So that's Mohammed bin Salman. That's one of the most powerful men in the world. MBS, that guy right there. I mean, people talking about Benjamin Netanyahu. No, this guy right here. That's one of the guys. Okay, BB, that ain't MBS. They killed Khashoggi in the consulate. It's like, what you gonna do about it? Nothing. All right. They're very powerful. But the Saudis, I think they're overall a net positive for us. But even if they weren't necessarily a net positive, there's nothing you could really do because they got the energy. You know, and they got a lot of territorial waters, the Suez, or they got all of that. So what you gonna do? Okay. Tazante says, sell out, double cross, treachery, unfaithful. There we go. We got some new words. That's what I'm talking about. Whoever needed to use those words, we got a whole batch of words for you. Use those in your vocabulary. All right, hold on. Let me see what I wanted to show here. Oh, about Susie Wiles. Now, some people are playing this talking about, speaking about being very powerful. Susie Wiles has too much power. Now, Susie Wiles, if you don't know, is the White House Chief of Staff, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. White House Chief of Staff is Susie Wiles. So he's talking about her, giving her a lot of credit. What I have heard about Susie Wiles, what I've read about her is that she's very, very, very good at what she does. The best. Ain't nobody better than her. She is the best at her role. And one thing that we do on the conservative side, we're not looking for anything else other than the best. If you perform poorly, then we'll criticize you for performing poorly. If you perform well, Well, partially because you perform well. We're not really into this whole thing about identity politics, or we're going to put you here because you're black and the green, and you got a club foot, and you got a horn in your head, and your back is hairy on one side, but not the other side. We don't look at it like that. Are you good at what you do or not? So here is Trump giving Susie Wiles a lot of credit.
Susie Wiles, the great, she had a father, Pat Summerall, the great announcer, football. He was a great football player, became an even greater, the voice of the NFL.
And don't get distracted because of the picture, okay? Don't let that distract you. It's okay. She's all right.
He was supposed to be a tough cookie, and I believe it 100%. Most powerful woman in the world. She can take out a country, take out a country with one phone call. That's power. I don't know if I could do that, but she could. Thank you, Susie. Do you feel good about the job you're doing? Huh? She's never going to be satisfied. Susie Wiles, the great, she had a...
All right, there we go. So again, shout out to Susie, giving her some credit. Now, here he is talking about the H-1Bs. This is at the U.S. Saudi Investment Forum. I believe that was at the same place he just said that about Susie. Now, some are upset about Trump when it comes to the H-1Bs, but I don't understand why. Because Trump's whole campaign was illegal aliens. It wasn't about getting rid of legal immigrant programs. Now, we can look at the waste, fraud, and abuse that happens, which is why Trump put the tax of $100,000 on the H-1Bs. He signed the tax of the $100,000 H-1Bs and had Narendra Modi on the phone. And he is a president or prime minister, whatever, of India. And a lot of the H-1Bs come from India. So Trump is not somebody that's oblivious to the problems of H-1Bs, but he's also a realist and a guy who understands we got to have the best of the best in the country. Again, it don't really matter as long as we get the best and we do it the right way. We do it legally. Doing it the wrong way is having a southern border wide open and letting every Tom, Dick, and Harry from all over the universe just pour on in. You getting terrorists, you getting child traffickers, you getting drug runners, you getting gun runners, you getting people that's sick, people that's crazy. You don't want that. You want a more streamlined approach. And if that approach is not as streamlined as it could be, get it better.
Bring people to get those plants opened. We want you to do that, and we want those people to teach our people how to make computer chips and how to make other things. You can't come in, and I'm explaining, you can't come in, open up a massive computer chip factory for billions and billions of dollars like is being done in Arizona and think you're going to hire people off an unemployment line to run it. They're going to have to bring thousands of people with them, and I'm going to welcome those people. Now, I love my conservative friends. I love MAGA, but this is MAGA. And those people are going to teach our people how to make computer chips, and in a short period of time, our people are going to be doing great, and those people can go home where they probably always want to be. You know, when people are born someplace, they tend to want to go, and we have the greatest country in the world.
There we go. So I'm right on with that. You got to have, at a certain point, you got to have job training. If we don't understand how to do certain things, you got to have people to come over here and train us. If we're able to get people to come over here and train us, we have the skills and the job afterward. Why would that be a bad thing? Again, what we don't want are illegal aliens just straight up over here living like cockroaches. We don't want that going on. We don't want to be inundated with these people who don't bring any kind of economic activity beyond just doing slave labor. We want skilled people over here doing things that benefit us in the real way, not in the way of you're competing with us for jobs. That shouldn't be what's going on. We shouldn't be having to compete with the illegals for jobs, resources, everything else. Okay, now let's talk about, again, the illegal aliens. We got the ICE raids happening in Charlotte. Operation Charlotte's Web. That's a nice little touch. I like that, DHS. But anyway, so they're also going to be, aside from just going after the illegal aliens, they're also going to be targeting employers of illegal aliens.
At least over the first couple of days. And acting ICE Director Todd Lyons said it's not going to stop just at apprehending criminal illegal aliens. Listen to what he said.
We're going to focus on the worst of the worst, but we're also going to make sure if you're here in the country legally, we're going to get you out. And to the employers who employ and attract a lot of these illegal aliens that come in and steal American jobs. We're going to focus on those American companies as well.
Now, there's all of these protests to say, okay, you're not just focusing on criminal illegal aliens, you're focusing on folks who are just in this country illegally, you're focusing now on employers. But this is exactly what the Obama administration did in 2012, 2013, 2014. They went after they prioritized criminal illegal aliens, but they deported a lot of other people too.
The thing about it is, everyone always gets deported in this country. There's always times where there's more deportations than others. Obama, Trump, whoever the person is, they always do it. Because what happens is they let too many in and then they have problems. So now they got to fix the problems by having the deportations. As simple as that. Now, the focus is always going to be the criminals. That's going to be first and foremost. If you're going to prioritize deportations, let's get the criminals first. That does not mean if you're here illegally and you're not a criminal that you're safe. My suggestion to anyone here illegally would be to go ahead and leave and then try to come back the right way. Get a visa, get an H-1B, get some kind of documentation to come over here the right way, and then work with it. And don't overstay that visa, because if you overstay, you're doing the wrong thing, you're going to get kicked back out. Come over here for a certain amount of time, whatever kind of time you have, maximize it, go back and/or try to become legal. But I digress.
Exactly. But we're just in the country illegally, and there wasn't a huge hue and cry from the left about that.
Let's pause. Cowboy says they did it back in the 80s ABL, or 80s, early 90s. Business owners, ABL, and it didn't stop fixing anything. Well, you're not going to totally just eliminate the problem because of a couple of reasons. First, you are going to continuously have illegals try to come in, and some are going to make it. Then you're going to have those who have visas and overstay. There's going to be flaws in the system. There's going to be ways to be able to still be here illegally. But the problem is when it gets to be excessive. You got 40 million illegal aliens up under one administration. That's not how that is supposed to work. So now we're trying to clean up that mess and get as many out as possible. It's better than doing nothing, but it's not going to be a fix-all. It's not going to be a panacea. It's not going to just totally eliminate the problem. Like, okay, we're going to crack down on illegal aliens, so everybody just goes away. That's not really how that works. You're going to try to get as much out as possible, realize that you're not going to be totally successful in that endeavor, but your success will be enough to make a difference. Does that make sense?
Hue and cry from the left about that.
If you're in this country illegally, you made two choices, not just to enter the country illegally or stay in the country illegally, but now you have a choice as well. You can leave now, take a $1,000 exit bonus, free flight home, and then potentially return the right legal way. But if you don't, the message is very clear. We will arrest you, but I also think that there are more facts here as well. There's about 1,400 criminal legal aliens that right now are in North Carolina in Charlotte's jails that they refuse to turn over to ICE law enforcement. If those sanctuary city politicians would work with us and actually let us into their jails to take out these MS-13 gang members, murderers, serial child rapists, which I've seen these lists of people, they are heinous individuals who are in these jails. If they are released back into Charlotte and not turned over to ICE, they will go on to re-perpetuate crimes.
Exactly. Very well said. Right on. So shout out to her. Shout out to her. Yeah, you're not going to totally fix the illegal alien issue like 100%. It's not going to be like, okay, everybody's gone. That'd be the goal. But as long as you're able to make a dent to where it makes a difference, that's what matters. Let me show you the dent that it's making right now in Charlotte. That's a great segue. All right, let's go ahead and check it out right here. As I said earlier, 20% of the student body in Charlotte does not show up. It's not showing up because of the crackdown on illegal immigration.
First at 4, we are learning new details about how the presence of Border Patrol in the Queen City is impacting learning at the area's largest school district. For the second day in a row, students at several schools walked out in protest of the Border Patrol deployment here in Charlotte. But an educator now tells us that's not the main reason classrooms are empty. Queen City News anchor Will Lewis spoke with the teacher who says the uptick in absences is a direct result of Operation Charlotte's Web.
David Gillespie says the last 24 hours have been tough.
I don't represent the CMS district nor my school.
but he's seen what 2 days of Customs and Border Patrol agents taking more than 130 people into custody.
I'm just sharing my opinion as a teacher in the Charlotte area.
Does to students.
My homeroom class typically has 16 students in it. We had 4.
District-wide, there are 145,030 students enrolled in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. On Monday, 30,399 were absent, 28,136 unexcused. While CMS doesn't break down the numbers by ethnic origin, Gillespie, a multilingual teacher, did.
Children of parents from Angola, from Vietnam, but the students whose parents come from Latin American countries were the students we were missing. So that was kind of the line, even among the ML students, is that we were missing Hispanic students.
Davis says news of the operation reached his students well before they entered the classroom on Monday. He says those who have come back are still scared, and he's unsure if or when the other students will return.
Let's pause. Now, I have spoken to teachers. They are stressed out. Hold on, let me come back, because you gotta see me clearly. I have spoken to school teachers like they're teaching right now in the classroom. They got students now, today. They're stressed because there's so many different kids from all over the world. They're not speaking English, not just Spanish, because at a certain point, you could pick it a penny a little bit. You could speak a little bit of Spanish. You could kind of understand. You could kind of communicate a little bit. Okay. You could say something like El Tolito, and it might kind of make sense. Don't nobody get offended by that. But you understand what I mean. It's much easier to try and understand Spanish than Chinese or some other kind of random language that you don't speak at all. Portuguese or something, you know? It's too many different kids from all over the world. Everybody got autism, ADHD. They got cell phones in their hand. They don't want to give up. You got some of the kids aggressive, wanting to fight. It's just too much happening. It's like Tower of Babel in a lot of these schools. So what deportations are doing is kind of alleviating a lot of that. It's alleviating a lot of that. The stress on our teachers who are underpaid. A lot of them say, you know what? I don't even want to go. I don't even want to go to class. I don't even want to teach because of all the stress of all these new kids coming into the classroom who are not prepared to learn at all. I can't help them learn because I can't speak their language. This is a really big problem. So the multilingual guy, of course, is going to be sympathetic. I get it, whatever, okay. But what about your teacher that does not speak all these different languages that you know how to speak? How are they going to be able to teach? What are they going to do? So yeah, man. And you know what? I blame the parents. The kids are in fear. I blame the parents because the parents brought these kids here illegally. The parents did not heed the warning of, hey, it's time to go. We told y'all, look, it's almost 2026. We told y'all as late as 24. Maybe you didn't hear it in 22. Maybe you didn't hear it in the first term, 2015, 16. Maybe you didn't hear it back then. But we told y'all at least in 2024, at least 1 full year ago, that we're coming for the illegal aliens. You didn't heed the warning. You just heard her say in the previous clip, $1,000 free plane ride home. You didn't take it. Now we got to come get you. It's your fault. I don't blame the kids. I blame the parents. 1,000%. So yeah, shout out to Captain Man Bun. I get it, bro, but nah, they got to get up out of here. Now here's a teacher talking about what's happening. Now this ain't really about the illegal aliens, but it kind of ties into what I was just talking about as far as the teachers being stressed out.
It's bad.
All right, let's go ahead and check it on out here.
It's bad. It's really bad. I don't know what's happened to education. It breaks my heart. I wanted to be a teacher since I was in the 4th grade. Now I'm a teacher and I'm miserable a lot. I love the act of teaching. I love changing students' minds and helping them develop into smart individuals. But I don't do that. I don't get to teach. I spend my day managing behaviors and teaching students how to regulate their emotions. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a behavior specialist. I'm a teacher, and most of my job is managing behaviors. Most of my job is reaching out to admin and parents. That's not what I signed up for, and that's why so many teachers are leaving the profession. I always thought public education would be here. I always thought it would be a good option. I didn't think you had to have money in order to get a good education, but anymore I'm beginning to think it's done for. I just had a comment and somebody said, education is failing because students are running the classroom and teachers have no authority. And that's true. I just watched a video of a teacher getting pepper sprayed by their student in the school because they took their phone because it was being used to cheat on a test. And there were people defending it. That's crazy. That's really crazy. Happy World Kindness Day. Don't forget that everyone is a human being, even your teachers, and even if they assign you work that you don't want to do, and they spent time making it fun for you. Bye.
All right, there we go. So shout out to her. She appears to be a normal person, a regular human being that cares about these kids and is not trying to indoctrinate them. So shout out to her for being a good regular teacher from what I'm able to see. And what she said is right on point. Hey, the kids, the inmates running the asylum, the parents, they're not going to care. And then, again, you add on to that, the illegal aliens ain't speaking no English, speaking a lot of different languages. Somebody told me, a teacher now, up to 5 languages in one class at one time are spoken. And this is not ESL. We're talking about English. We're talking about math. We're talking about science. We're talking about regular classes. 5 different languages spoken in one class. And then your next class, it might be 5 different languages. How can you really deal with that? You can't. So yeah, shout out to her. Right on point. But shout out to the teachers who are not dealing with that. Some parts of the country are better than others. All right. Some parts better than others. So we got a guy kind of melting down over the whole deportation thing. I'm not quite sure where this is. This might be out there in Charlotte. Okay. It's kind of a Captain Man Bun type character. Let's see what he says about the illegal alien raids happening and the effect it's having on the community.
So the manager of the apartment building, sorry, forgive me, has been going around with a cowbell telling people to go back inside because it's unsafe to be out here, people. Fucking madness. What is this, guys? What is this fucking nation? People are afraid to go out of their homes. This is like fucking Nazi Germany, guys. This is not okay. It's not fucking okay. Fucking wake up. Rise up. So the man...
Bro. Like, nah, we're talking about people that are being deported who are here illegally. If you don't want to be deported, then don't come to the country illegally. I don't have sympathy for these adults that do this. For the kids, that's one thing. I blame the parents. Just because you get kids that could be deported does not mean it's my fault. It does not mean that I feel any different. It just means they got bad parents who made a bad decision. Or good parents who made a bad decision. Either way it goes, let's say it was me or any one of us regular American citizens and we commit a crime. Do you think there's going to be a march or a protest or a vigil to keep us out of the penitentiary? It could be anything. I saw a video, I did a video on it where the guy had a suspended license and got yanked out of the car, hit on the ground, and I'm like, okay, yeah, because he's here with no license, not wanting to get out the car. Yeah, get him out of there. You got to be held accountable when you do the wrong thing. Even if you think it's for the right reason, it don't matter. Hey, okay, my son got to get some kind of crazy operation. You know what I'm saying? He got he got an extra arm on top of his head, and we got to get the arm removed before it gets to be growing big and become a wing and he flies away. So we got to rob a bank to get rid of the arm. That's not how that works. I robbed the bank. I'm still going to be held liable for doing that. Anyway, shout out to you, bro. No. You here illegally, you got to go. It is what it is. It is what it is. Come back the right way. We want people to come the right way and do the right thing. We don't want them to do the wrong thing the right way, or the wrong thing the wrong way. Do the right thing and do whatever you do the right way. So my man right here says, you know what? If you're an ICE agent, you're being used as a pawn, and judgment will soon find you.
So I have a message for members of ICE, members of Customs and Border Patrol, specifically new members of these organizations who are part of that hiring surge at the beginning of the year. I'm going to tell you something that not a lot of people are probably telling y'all, right? And that is that you are being played. You are being played like a motherfucker. You're being played like an instrument. This administration is using you to enact their illegal agenda, knowing that when it's time for accountability and consequences, they will just get to ride off into the sunset and leave you holding the bag.
Wait, what's illegal about deportations? Was it illegal when Barack Obama did it? Was it illegal when every other president did it? There's not been a pause on deportations. Deportations always happens, whether it happens at a large rate, a smaller rate. You're always going to have deportation. So please explain to me how it's illegal to deport people.
Holding the bag. You are being used as pawns to terrorize the American population, to terrorize the citizenry in ways that will not be forgiven and will not be forgotten. And when it's time for consequences, it is not going to matter that you had on a mask. They will find you. Because at the end of the day, you are a government employee. They have your name, your address, your phone number, your social security number, your fingerprint. And it is very easy to request this information if you really, really want it. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm telling you, man, when it's time for the modern day Nuremberg trials, your ass is grass. People will not care that the order came from on high. An illegal order is still an illegal order. And what you are being ordered to do by the Trump administration is blatantly illegal, blatantly unconstitutional. And
what I want to know is if there's some kind of Nuremberg trial, and that's crazy because the more I hear from the left, the more they sound like what they accuse us of. You sound like anyway. Who's going to actually be able to enforce what you're talking about? Who's going to be actually able to come get these people? Was it going to be a guy like you? Oh, so you're going to be a terrorist? Okay, we got something for that. Don't worry about it. Hey, you know what? Our government is here to protect us from all threats, foreign and domestic. Now, I'm not trying to say nothing, bro. I'm not trying to say nothing. I'm just saying, if there's a threat against American citizens, that's what the government is here for. And also, aside from the government, let's not forget about our Second Amendment, right to bear arms. So I don't think you want to do that. You know, I think if you try to do something like that, it's not going to go well for you. So my advice would be go ahead and just relax, fall back, and discontinue your, what I think is threatening messaging. That ain't what you want to do, bro, at all. Okay, that ain't what you want to do at all. Let's keep going here. So my man right here is kind of just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Hey, ICE agent, stop all your deportations. You're running my illegal alien workers away. Hey, you're running my slave labor off the plantation. You can't do stuff like that, bro. Come on, man. I got more cotton to pick. I got more corn to shuck. What are you doing? And look at this dude right here. Okay, yes, we did have black slave owners. Don't get it twisted. Yes, we did. Sure did. We had black slave owners and we had black slave sellers. I know somebody, if you're watching, shout out to you. I know someone from Nigeria who told me that their family sold slaves. Wasn't proud of it, was apologetic for it. I'm just saying it does happen.
Yo, this is a message to ICE, man. Y'all gotta stop, man. Damn Hispanics don't even want to come to work, man. Now y'all fucking with my bread. Y'all fucking with my bread. Now it's my cheese, man. Look at this. This is the quietest I ever seen a work site on a damn Tuesday.
Hey, you know what? I have a great idea. How about you go out there and do some work? Go get your cousins, go get Pookie Ray Ray and them from the hood and have them come up there and do that. How about create a brand new contracting company? Create a brand new company to build these houses. YN Contracting. That's what you should do right now.
No nails, no hammers, no screws, no banging. Like, come on, take a walk with me. Look at this. By the way, I'm an appliance installer. We gotta drop our appliances off, right? We supposed to install them and we make commission off installations. Only thing we get to install is this. And that ain't no damn money. But wait, it's not fully installed because no outlets, no countertops, no trim for the gas line, and again, no outlet. Word to me, now y'all playing with my damn bread. Shit. Like ain't nothing done, leave them alone. What? Yo, this is a message.
So look, man, I understand you're not the contractor, but you should talk to the contractor. Why you gonna talk to Trump? Why you gonna talk to ICE? Talk to the contractor. Ask the contractor to hire some legal people, because you have migrants who are here legally that work. There are visas to come over here and do that. That does exist. You don't have to get illegal aliens. The contractor you're dealing with gets illegal aliens because they're cheap. That's on him. So I don't know what to tell you, bro. Hey, man, go somewhere else in this country where they don't rely upon illegal aliens to do all the work. That's what I would say. Don't get mad at us. Don't get mad at us for doing what we should be doing. Get mad at your guys for hiring the illegal aliens to begin with. You know, that's all. Hey, it's going to cost more to hire Americans, but that's the problem. See, you can't survive as a nation with slave labor. That was Roman Empire as well. Same thing. All the slaves competing for jobs with regular citizens trying to make an actual living. We don't have a country to send money back to worth a lot more. We don't have that. And matter of fact, here's a testimony from a guy whose father lost his business because of all the Haitians that came in many years ago after the earthquake. And shout out to the Haitians. Nothing against them. I'm just saying, when the migrant labor comes in, illegal alien labor comes in, that's going to put Americans at disadvantage. We got to have jobs. We got to produce things, but it makes it hard for us to do that when we're competing with guys who make no money at all, because they come from a third world nation where they can send money back where it's worth more, or they are used to a certain way of living, which is below our standard.
I saw my dad lose his business of 20 years to the mass influx of migrants from Haiti after the earthquake. He was a tree trimmer. And so when you bring in tens of thousands of cheap foreign labor from Haiti, who can't exactly become SAT tutors, they will come in and replace tree trimmers and landscapers. I saw him lose his business, but then he went on to proudly serve his community as a bus driver for over a decade in Broward County. Same bus that I use to go to my high school job when I was growing up. I saw my dad lose his business of 20.
There we go. So he's telling you exactly what's going on. It's going to be a replacement. You're bringing in the migrant labor. You got a business, tree trimming, any kind of landscaping. You're going to lose it, or you're going to be in jeopardy of losing it, because they can undercut you in the bidding. The way you bid your prices is enough for you to take care of yourself and your family and your kid in America. What they do is come in, live in a ramshackle spot, 15 deep, and charge the lowest amount of money possible, which is worth more in Haiti and it's worth not that much here. So then when they go back to Haiti, they got a beautiful home away from Port-au-Prince, away from the gangs and stuff like that. They got a beautiful home because of the money that they took from America and sent back there. And then you get people that are Americans that say, that's okay, let that keep going. No, don't do that. All right, let's keep going here. Now, she has a bright idea. If you live in the Deep South, why not just run for office as a Republican, and then once you get in there, don't do anything that you promised? Okay.
Has anyone in the Deep South ever considered running as a Republican? Like, my husband and I were just talking about this. Running as a Republican, saying all the things that they want to hear. Because you're in.
Wait, let's go back. A witch hat. Now, is it because Halloween was recently, or is it because that's what you identify with? I'm just trying to understand what's going on, but I digress.
Witch hat that they want to hear. because you're in the Deep South and you get elected. And then because it doesn't matter what you say when you run, you can make all these promises. No one ever, very few politicians ever hold up to what they promise. And just go full blown, burn it down, vote for every single policy that the Democrats advocate for. Like, seriously, you're like, hey, I'm the most deep red politician, but then you go and you vote for every single Democratic policy and just burn it all down. Just imagine what would happen. It would all change. Has anyone in...
All right, there we go. So her bright idea is, hey, get in there as a true red MAGA all the way. Say all the things to get the MAGAs on your side, but then go in there and be Bernie Sanders or Zohran Mamdani or something like that. But see, there's a problem. First of all, we're going to do a little bit of background checking on you to see who you are. All right. Like, who are you for real? Where'd you come from? Out of nowhere? Like, what's going on with your background? We're going to dig into your life with a fine-tooth comb. And we have some of the top investigators in the world on our side. Yes, we do. Okay. Y'all might see YouTube videos of somebody trying to investigate, but the real people are behind the scenes. You would never see them, and they know who you are. Trust and believe. And then if you are able to get in there by some chance, if you're able to trick us, okay, you could be recalled. You could be recalled. You could be ousted. It's okay. You are not entitled to the office forever. You can be recalled. Now, in California, they were trying to recall Gavin Newsom, but they're too far gone. Try that down in Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, somewhere like that. It ain't going to be the same way. Not at all. Definitely not down here where I live. No way, Jose. It ain't going to happen. Let you do one thing. Like out here, they don't play. They are really, really paying attention to who you are and what you do, all your voting patterns. You do one thing that's off the wall and not right, you're going to be brought up to the table like, hey, what's going on? It's going to be a phone call. It's going to be a meeting, and they're going to try to figure out what's really going on with you. So, yeah, I don't think your strategy would work very well. Okay. Yeah. See, she got a nose ring. It's not quite a septum ring. Not quite. But those big glasses kind of are a version of a septum ring. It's like you didn't want a septum ring because I might have been a little bit too on the nose. No pun intended. But now you got these big glasses to kind of compensate. Anyway, shout out to her. Do y'all think that strategy will work? Just go in there, say you're a MAGA, ultra MAGA, dark MAGA, and then go in there and be Zohran Mamdani. Would that work? Let me know. All right, let's keep going here. Now, what's this one about? Hold on, I almost forgot.
Firing squad.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So there was a guy who was, start over. There's an inmate who was put to death penalty, by firing squad. This woman says, you know what? That might be a little bit too barbaric. That's kind of weird. It's kind of strange. But when you hear what this guy did, things change.
I just read that South Carolina just executed a man by firing squad. I was like, what? Firing squad. This is their third execution by firing squad. What? I think just this year, I wasn't quite clear on that, if that was just like total or for this entire year. They've executed 5 people and 3 of them were by firing squad. What?
Hey, you know what? When you hear who this guy was, it makes sense. Let's go to it. We got an article. I got an article already queued up. Okay? I got an article queued up. Now, this is from when? November the 19th. This is today. So she was probably talking about this guy right here. You see the headline, South Carolina executes another man by firing squad. That's him right there, Mr. Whiteman. His name was Stephen Bryant. He was a serial killer. He killed not 1, not 2, but 3 people. And on one of the murders, he left a message in blood taunting the officers. So, I mean, what is to be done with this guy? Okay. what is to be done with him? I don't really understand. Yeah, go ahead and get him with the firing squad for sure. Or I don't know, the chair, the rope, whatever you got to go and get him up out of here. A guy like that is dangerous in general, whether he's locked up in society. Some people you got to go ahead and just get rid of. I mean, you know, taking people's lives, messing with kids and stuff like that, you got to go. So yeah, it's okay that he was hit by the firing squad. I don't find it to be in any kind of way offensive or wrong or misplaced. What about y'all? Y'all let me know in the comments. All right, exactly, Sue. Is she okay with that? That's what I'm saying. So let me just break it down for you a little bit here. So he was 44 years old. He had killed 3 people in an 8-day span in 2004 and left a derisive message in the victim's blood to taunt law enforcement. He was convicted in 2008 after pleading guilty, and the state said he chose to die by firing squad. So it's not like, you know, it's wanting to do that just because. Nah, he probably was given an option. Okay, you want the firing squad, you want the chair, you want lethal injection. Like, what? Okay, what do you want? Firing squad. Okay, cool, no problem. Your wish is my command. Go ahead. And then that's it. So yeah, shout out to that dude. Oh, not really. Shout out to the firing squad who went ahead and did what had to be done. And the way they do the firing squad, if you don't know, from what I was able to read many years ago, is that you may have a certain number of officers or whoever in the room. It's like you got guns set up like on a stand. It could be 5, 6, 7, however many guns set up on the stand, like rifles pointed at the guy. But not every rifle is loaded with live ammunition. So you're not going to know if you hit him or if you didn't, because you could fire a blank or fire a live round. And you probably can't see what you actually hitting, but the gun to be aimed at him. So it is what it is. All right. Now, this woman says you can be completely obese and still healthy. I'm not quite sure that's how that works. Okay. I'm not quite sure that's how that works. And part in the change in topic, I want it to be part in the change in topic. I wanted it to be a little bit less heavy. Okay, hold on. Do I have my sound? Never mind. Anyway, let's keep going.
50 pounds can be healthy. Actually, I know a lot of people who are over that weight who are completely healthy and their doctors say their lab work is great. Okay, but while they might be healthy now, they're gonna have health problems down the line. And you could too. What? You also could have health problems down the line. You're just not aware of them yet. Okay, but like, fat people have a higher chance of getting those health problems. Actually, studies show that those health risks can be mitigated by pursuing healthy behaviors. And you can't tell if a fat person is pursuing healthy behaviors or not just by looking at them. And actually, bald people have a higher chance of having cardiovascular disease than fat people do. But I don't think you're going around telling all bald people they're going to be unhealthy eventually, are you? Well, no, but nothing. You said that somebody over 350 pounds can never be healthy. And when I questioned you on that, you said, okay, but they could become unhealthy. And that's true of everyone. So I don't know what your point is.
Okay, yes, there's a lot I want to say here, because y'all know me with the food and everything else. Listen, obesity is not a good thing. You want to be able to try to get yourself in shape. Obesity is like someone who is on drugs or alcohol or something like this. It's a health risk. Now, maybe, just like we've seen crackheads, right, who've been preserved in the crack fluid for the past 25 years. They look young and everything else. Well, relatively young. All the teeth ain't there, but they don't look necessarily obese or whatever. Just because they don't look obese and they're kind of like, you know, that does not mean they're healthy at all. At all. They got all kind of problems going on. Same thing with you if you are obese. If you're not in perfect shape, looking like a bodybuilder, that's one thing. I'm talking about if you're 400 pounds, if you get on the airplane and you need another seatbelt, that's what I'm talking about right there. And that type of lane. If you got that going on, you're going to have some serious health risks. Serious. You don't see people that are 85 years old weighing 500 pounds. It didn't happen. We've seen some of these fat influencers be dead in their 20s. I don't want that for y'all. I want y'all to be happy, alive, and kicking well until you get to be 100 years old. I don't want you to be hunched over because you big backed at 27. I don't want that for you guys. So yeah, obesity most certainly does pose health risks. Now, some think that obesity is okay, but wearing the mask in public, I need my mask because, hey, if I don't have my mask, I'm going to die. But if I weigh 500 pounds, it's okay. Anyway, what would you do if you go to a grocery store and you see a young lady wearing that? Like this kind of mask, this all-encompassing, big, crazy Division I video game mask. What kind of stats and power do you have in that mask? Anyway.
I forgot my KN95, so I went to the store in my P100. People are fucking terrified.
Take me to your leader.
Hey, you know what? For real, if I see you wearing that in public, I might not know what's going on. Because we've had some incidents lately at some of these schools and whatnot. I'm not trying to say, but y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm seeing the hair with the little bang going on, the little Fortnite hairstyle. I'm seeing this big crazy mask. What's going on? Are you going to release some kind of nerve agent in here? Are you going to just pull out some kind of crazy weapon and start to get the blasting? Are you going to just come in here and raid this place and loot us after you shoot us? I don't know what's going on. If I see something like that, I'm going to be on high alert for sure. I may not necessarily be afraid, but I'm going to be on alert. I'm going to keep my eyes on you. I'm not letting you out of my sight. Whether you're in my peripheral vision, hey, if I look this way, I'm going to still see you that way. And I'm going to still see you that way too. I'm going to see like 360. I got eyes in the back of my head for you. So yeah, I wouldn't be scared, but definitely cautious. How about y'all? What would you think and what would your actions be if you saw her in a store like that? Like, what would you think? Again, I'm not gonna be scared, but I'm gonna be cautious. I'll be like, all right, man. I don't know what you got going on, but I don't want no smoke. All right, but yeah, shout out to her. Okay, let's talk about, speaking about the masks and vax and whatnot. Do y'all know who Sam Harris is? I see him quite a bit, but I still don't know who he is. I feel like I've shown him before, but I don't know who he is. Now, this guy is still going back talking about ivermectin being a bad thing that was proposed to us to help us with COVID. I don't really understand. I feel like some people are still stuck in a few years in the past. I thought we've already established that ivermectin is good, that it is not dangerous, and that it was much safer than whatever they wanted to give us from Big Pharma. I thought we already established that, but I guess some of us have not gotten the update. We've not gotten the memo. We're still stuck in the past. Let's play some of this, shall we?
And so we've ended up in a very conspiratorial world, partly, I think, because of what happened during COVID. And by the way, if you lock people in their homes for 2 years, some of them are going to loopy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But part of the burden that our public health authorities couldn't effectively shoulder was that they were messaging into a polluted information landscape that was poised to be this conspiratorial and this distrustful of authority. And in large measure, independent media is culpable for that. I mean, it's the Candace Owens of the world and the Joes of the world who were calling bullshit where things were actually bullshit and calling bullshit on absolutely standard science. And I mean, the people who Joe had on his podcast again and again, Brett Weinstein and all the other ivermectin cultists, that was genuinely harmful.
If not for the independent media, if not for the quote unquote ivermectin cultists, there would have been a lot more people harmed. There would have been a lot more of us who would have just taken the vaccine without a second guess. It was independent media that kept the mainstream media and the government in check. Their plan was to just give us the shot. And then people just passing out, falling on the ground, healthy. Listen, I'm going to tell you a story. I told a story before, but I'm going to tell it again right now because it's pretty important to tell right now. He wants to blame the so-called ivermectin conspiracy theorists, the Joe Rogan, Candace Owens. You wouldn't have blamed podcasters, but let me tell you about my doctor. So I have a PCP, a doctor here in East Tennessee, and I go into the doctor for blood work, and he's telling me about his time as a doctor in the Navy. He was in for 20 years, but retired, left, because he was tired of seeing healthy 18-year-old young men go to the hospital after they get the vaccination. Okay, he was a doctor in the Navy, and he left because he was tired of seeing young, fit, healthy, strong men wind up in the hospital right after the vaccination. Heart problems, chest problems, myocarditis, pericarditis, yeah. We knew that could be a risk from the beginning. Even if it wasn't about that specifically, about heart stuff. We knew before the vaccine was even released upon us that there could be side effects because this is a brand new thing that they've not really tested. And we did not want to be the test subjects. When we were able to discover other ways to treat this that had already been proven, Nobel Peace Prize winning solutions that had already been proven to be safe, we said, hey, do that instead of this brand new thing. If you got a Johnson & Johnson vaccine, hey, man, oops, sorry, that has been deemed to be unsafe. It was pulled from the market. They pulled it. It wasn't under the Biden administration. They pulled the Johnson & Johnson vaccine off the market. So if you got that, hey, man, oh, well, you be okay. Nah. So I thank Candace Owens and the Joe Rogan and whoever was able to sound an alarm from the independent point of view because you saved lives. You most certainly did. My doctor told me that. My doctor said, nah, don't do it. My doctor said, do not take the vaccination. My doctor, 20 years in the Navy. All ABL misinformation from my doctor. Oh, okay. Anyway, now we got another doctor who found information about vaccinations in general from childhood. Because you got a lot of different sicknesses and different things happening to children more than what they happened in the previous years. Some say, oh, it's not about more sickness, it's about more diagnosis. Not quite. Not quite. Because when you're a doctor and you are in practice for a long time, you're able to see patterns in your office. You're able to see how many kids are exhibiting certain things from a young age, how many kids are not quite right. You're able to see that from time. If you've been in there for 30 years ago, you were seeing kids generally do a certain thing, and now you see them doing something else. Why did it change? What happened? Watch this story if you've not seen it before. Check it out.
What I noticed in the first decade or so of my practice is kids were getting sicker and sicker. And over the next decade, as more and more patients chose not to
Hey, Gyro's Pinup, you know what you could do? You could get up out of here if you want to be a troll. How about that?
What I noticed in the first decade or so of my practice is kids.
Hey, didn't I say from the beginning that I told the story before? But you know what, Gyro? Sometimes you have new people who've not heard the story before, so they got to hear it too. But anyway, I'm getting triggered.
What I noticed in the first decade or so of my practice is kids were getting sicker and sicker. And over the next decade, as more and more patients chose not to vaccinate, I got to see the difference. But I wanted to see, could I prove it? So we got all the data from my practice. We looked at every baby born into my practice and published it in an international journal of public health. What we found, and that study was peer-reviewed, it was robust, we found massive increases. I mean, we're talking 400 to 500% more. Allergies, autoimmune conditions, neurodevelopmental issues, and then we had infections of all kinds. Massively increased in the vaccinated compared to the unvaccinated. What happened when I published that study? Within days of it being available online, I get a call from my attorney. Don't go see any patients. Don't write any prescriptions. Don't go into the office. Your license has been emergently suspended. You are a threat to public health.
What's today?
Today, it is the last time I will be doing clinical medicine in Oregon. Knowing that you guys are keeping it going, the heart of this place lives on.
So shout out to the doctors who rang the alarm. There were plenty of doctors who said the same thing. From all over the world, they were saying the same thing, rang the alarm. But the consensus was, we're going to get everybody on this shot. We're going to get everybody on this shot because we have an ulterior motive. Okay? And if it's dangerous, oh, well, man, we'd be all right. You know, Johnson & Johnson, that was dangerous. So go ahead and just pull that. If you took it, you know, if you're not dead right now, it's okay, right? Maybe you might have a heart problem later, but right now you're all right, right? Doctors were saying, hey, let's not do that. And then not just COVID, but other vaccinations, childhood vaccinations are also an issue. So again, I'm glad we got RFK on the job to help get that up out of there, to help, you know, fix that issue. Let's go to California right quick. So have you seen this in California? The lid lifters, people that wear high-vis vests and go lift your trash can lid outside to see if you are properly disposing of your trash, properly separating your regular trash from your recyclables. It's weird because at a certain point, the recyclables are not even getting recycled. Sometimes they do. Cardboard, maybe they get recycled, but a lot of stuff, they just kind of throw in the same pile. Anyway, let's watch some of this. Okay. Big brother digs through trash. Let's watch some of this about the lid lifters.
Big Brother hit the curbside in San Diego.
We've never been this detailed and thorough with it.
The Democrat-run city hired lid lifters to snoop through your garbage at 6 a.m., checking for proper recycling under new state mandates.
I'm weird. I'm excited. I think it's cool to dig through trash, but I get it. I'm not the normal person.
Non-compliant bins get slapped with oops tags, forcing resorts, while managers gush over digging in trash.
We're not going to be enforcing or doing any kind of citations for minor or major contaminations.
Privacy invasion or eco-necessity. Big Brother...
So they put a tag on your trash can saying, hey, man, you got to fix that, but they don't actually resort it. So what if I just ignore it? How does that work? If I ignore the tag, will it still get picked up and put in the trash? Like, I don't know. You know, me, maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm different. I enjoy the recycling process. Like, I'm the kind of guy, I'm going to break down every box with a knife. I'm a box cutter, cut every knife down, break it down, and I'm going to drive to the recycling center. If I got glass bottles or anything like that, I'm going to take that too. Yeah, like that's not really a thing for me, but I guess some people, they don't want to do that. Some of us, they say, you know what, I'm going to just throw everything in there. I don't know. But most certainly the cardboard boxes, yeah, you got to recycle that. Or if you don't want to recycle it specifically, like going to the recycling center or put it in the bin, at least separate it. What I would do if I just had one bin, I would put my trash bags, like my regular trash in the trash bags, and my cardboard boxes, I would put that on top of the trash bags, broken down, cut up. That's what I would do. Am I OCD? Nah, I'm not OCD, but I used to work in a restaurant where we had to do that. So that was like part of my job for many years. For like 5 years, we had to break down boxes every day. So that was a habit I developed. And it's kind of, I don't like when I see somebody's trash overflowing with an unbroken down box causing the overflowing. I'm like, you're kind of lazy. You could have just brought that down and it would have been overflowing. But it don't take long to break a box down. It take you a few minutes, you know, or I might put them in a garage and then I'll like batch break them down and then take them to the recycling center. Same thing with the glass bottles. I'll batch bring those. I'll put them in the garage, put them in the container, and then I'll just take the container in my truck. And that's part of the reason why I got a pickup truck, because I'm always putting something in the truck. Okay, I got topsoil, I got plants, I got recyclable materials, I got furniture. Somebody got to get help moved. I'm always using my truck for a purpose. Yeah, recycling is a thing if you take it to the recycling center. If you let the trash man come get it, it might go anywhere. All right. Unloading that broccoli was wet. Shout out to you, Boomhauer. I appreciate you for rocking and rolling. All right, hold on. Back to California. Have you ever seen the homeless elite a homeless elite encampment. Okay, look, we got the hills, and you know up in the hills is where that's where the people that got the money on. That's where they stay. Hey, if you got the monies in Los Angeles, you're up in the hills. So let's see who's else up in the hills with the rich folks. All right, we got music, but you can see right there. Look at those. We got some homeless encampments right outside of the hills areas. All right. Little tents right there, right on the hillside. Imagine that. Hey, imagine, okay, you see like the downtown, all that in the distance. And then right there, you got your little homeless encampment on the hill. Now, what are those talks like with the neighbors? Who's living in those? Hey, who do you think has the privilege to live in those little tents on the hillside in LA? How does that really work? And I tell you what, I wish somebody would try to set up a tent in my area, my subdivision. It'll never happen. Never in a trillion years. Hey, first of all, the authorities are getting called. Like, yo, we got somebody that's been sitting on the curb for about a little bit too long. He's been there for about 2 hours. So let's go ahead and get him out of here right now. Come on. Like, come on and get him up out of here. So yeah, shout out to California. Hey, must be nice to be able to be homeless in a nice hillside location like that. Hey, let's say that start of the favelas in Brazil. It's just like the favelas. It could be going in that direction. It most certainly could be, because we see what's happening on the ground level with downtown, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's a mess. It's Mad Max at best. So we see kind of where they're going. It could be a favela type situation happening for sure. Speaking of neighborhoods, subdivisions, I'm going to show you guys this video here. I know y'all seen this video of this guy or whoever who built this crazy home edition. You can see it. It's like a sore thumb. It stands out. You see how the regular houses look. These are not, okay, you got 2-level houses at most. Okay, and mostly it's like kind of like 1 level. Maybe you got a attic space. Maybe you got 2 bedrooms upstairs. You don't have this monstrosity like that in the neighborhood. If that was to be built where you live and nothing else looks like that, what would you do? What would you think? Let's get some sound here first and let it roll. What the hell? Okay, that's got music going on, but we're going to just show it and then they're going to have the news that'll talk. So there we go. We got some more aerial views of it. Yeah, that's not really my cup of tea right there. Not at all. All right, music, let's stop.
Feels like it's not real when you see it. I mean, you've seen it, so yeah, it's shocking.
It seems to me that when you put something like this up, you want to talk to your neighbors about it.
Courtney Leonard lives literally in the shadow of the new addition being built onto her next-door neighbor's house.
This is Fairfax, Virginia, Northern Virginia, one of the richest places in the whole world.
Design-wise, it doesn't look anything like what it's attached to or anything else in the neighborhood.
Courtney says there's no HOA here, so no rules that have to be followed.
Pause. That is the bright side of an HOA. An HOA neighborhood would never allow that. That's the bright side of an HOA. There's also a dark side to the HOA, which is a different story. However, there still must be some kind of regulation on this. If not a HOA, maybe a city level.
Other neighbors tell us they're okay with this, that 3 generations of a very nice family will be living here. That family told us they had nothing to add to our story.
According to the zoning laws, they are well within their rights, and there's really nothing I can do about it.
She has the whole neighborhood. Like, we are all behind this woman.
Clearly does not belong in our suburban neighborhoods. A structure like that, 8.5 feet from the property line, three stories tall for the length of the lot. It has no place. And we need to fix our zoning ordinance to make sure that doesn't happen again.
It's terrible because look at the shadow on that. So what if you're like right next to that? What if you're the house right next to it and you got this big crazy shadow looming over because of the structure that was built? Whereas before there was no shadow and you were able to enjoy more sunlight, more natural light in your home. Plus you're going to have different bills because that shade is going to create a situation where you can't get warmed up as much. Like, I would not like this. Okay, I would not like this. You're going to change my bills. You're going to change my view. You're going to change my lawn. I'm not getting full sun. My plants, all of that is going to be a problem. I would be upset.
Supervisor Harity says he's going to propose that fix at the board's meeting next Tuesday. In the meantime, late today we heard from Fairfax County staff that while this addition does fall within the zoning guidelines for height, as built, it's too close to Courtney's property line, and so construction has been paused. What's to come of this project?
Look at this. Look how close it is to the neighbor. Look at that. It's like a little shrub of distance in between them. That's crazy. And it's so tall, it's going to cast a shadow on the whole property right next to it. So, nah, I am not in favor of that. Let me go back to some of these so you can see it better. Look, it's just some shrubs. It's like a hedge shrub in between them, and that's it. Come on. Really? Is that what we're doing? What you should have done was just destroy your house and then build that taller rather than building this addition on the side. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, I got this about Elon talking about AI, because I did promise that earlier, or I did speak about that earlier. Elon says within 10 to 20 years, work will be optional and money will stop being relevant. That's what he says. Now, I like Elon. His brain is just next level, but he may or may not be right here. Let's just hear what he has to say.
And if you go out long enough, assuming there's a continued improvement in AI and robotics, which seems likely, the money will stop being relevant at some point in the future. There will still be constraints on power, like electricity and mass. The fundamental physics elements will still be constraints, but I think at some point currency becomes irrelevant.
Jensen, any thoughts?
By the way, the NVIDIA earnings call is later today.
And by the way, since currency is relevant.
Cheers.
Elon just wants to share with you some breaking news.
So there we go. What do y'all think? Do you think that AI is going to just take over? There's going to be no currency. It's not really going to be a thing. Work is going to be optional. What do y'all think about that? Now, I'm not quite sure how work is going to be optional, because you still got things that have to be done by human hands. Unless we're just going to have these AI robots rolling around. How is that really going to work? What do y'all think? And again, I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying he's a smart guy. And I like to hear what he has to say. Whether I believe him or not, that remains to be seen. I don't think that I don't think we're going to have no work and no currency. I don't know about that. I think that AI will make advancements in humanity. It'll help us advance. But I'm not quite sure about not needing currency. It is not AI. It is not AI, not at all, because Elon himself had retweeted it and everything. So, no, it's not, it's not AI at all. All right, hold on. So there's a little bit more here. This is from the Saudi Invest thing that Trump was at earlier. Okay, the Saudi Invest Forum. Let's play a little bit more of this, and that gets us some calls.
But AI and humanoid robots will actually eliminate poverty. And Tesla won't be the only one that makes them. I think Tesla will pioneer this, but there will be many other companies that make humanoid robots. But there is only basically one way to make everyone wealthy, and that is AI and robotics.
And we can't talk about robotics without AI.
So what do y'all think? Hey, you're going to have AI and AI robots and that eliminate poverty. So no poverty, no work. You can pretty much just do your thing. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we'll be more educated than we are today. I think we'll know more about the space around us, but I don't know about not needing work and eliminating poverty. And then my question would be, how will poverty elimination look worldwide? Will it be the same thing in the USA as it is in Africa, as it is in Asia, Europe, South America? How's it going to look? That's my question. And then also, how's it going to look depending upon where you are environmentally? In the warm place, cold place, how does it really work? I think it'll make our jobs easier that we do, but it won't be an end all. But we'll see. We shall see. Phoenix says AI robots are limited. Think about it realistically. Robots cannot function without the human in control of the AI. Lawn care lover says, but how do we torture young people if we can't force them to flip hamburgers? Robert Without a Reason says you need electricity for AI. One power outage and everybody got to go back to work. There we go. That's a thing. The electricity, the power source, the power, the water that's going to consume is going to need natural resources like a human being. It's going to need a lot of natural resources. So we'll see. We shall see. To Live in Die in Peace says, I'd rather use AI than to hire people to work for me. Wow. Wow. Crypto says, if no currency, Elon would be poor like all of us. Define poor. If there's no currency, define poor, define rich. You got to kind of redefine that. You know, that's going to be a thing that may not be as simple as just saying, okay, you're poor, you're rich. All right, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Super chats, I'm going to get to those right quick, then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. The number is always in the ticker below me in the video, also in the description box below. All right, let's go to where we at. Thank you to Michael Crislow, who says, I saw the Shade Room comments about Nicki Minaj's UN speech, and it was all love. The one mad is Amanda Seals. She's always mad. Amanda Seals is a case study in what being a liberal will do to you in the future. If you don't want to be Amanda Seals, if you don't want to be a frumpy cat lady mad at things that you shouldn't be mad at, then don't be a liberal. Don't be like Amanda Seals. Okay, it's like when you see somebody that smoke crack for a living and they look crazy, they jaw like, when you see that going on, it's a big billboard. Hey, don't be like this crack smoker. Anyway, shout out to you, bro. Thank you to Lindsay, who says, have you seen ICE in Charlotte, North Carolina? It's huge. I sure did. We saw some of that earlier. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you to Boomhauer, who says, it took a lot for Nicki to get up there and stand for the Christians, and I'm sure they want to cancel her, but shout out to her for standing up. Absolutely. 100%. I love it. Shout out to Nicki. Thank you to Bruce Rice for giving out 10 ABL memberships and then 10 more. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you to Mauricio, who says, Trump says China's the enemy. Schools turn our kids into commies and immigration needs to be controlled. Also, Trump, just kidding. We need 600,000 Chinese students to keep our schools open. He lost me with that one. The thing is, okay, you're seeing things on social media that are not even really correct. You're just believing whatever you see. Are you a TikTok viewer? The 600,000 Chinese students are people that already exist in the system. He's not saying we need 600,000 more people. He's saying we already got that many from a 2-year period. So why even mention that? You're mentioning talking points that are not even correct. So, I mean, let's just be factual. And you know what? When you're factual about certain things, you're less likely to be upset because now you got the truth on your side. Thank you to Rick for the game over emoji. I appreciate you for that as well, boss. All right. Super chats, I read those. Let's get to some calls. Again, the number to call, 706-406-3287. The phone lines are open. We tried to call in a little while ago. I had it on mute, but now we should be good to go. You want the mall gone? Why you ain't say that before? Why are you just saying it right now when it was made? Why are you saying it right now when it was brought to your attention that it was already going on? Why not say it before? They're not even the problem. Like, that's not even the issue. You don't even want to do that. Like, you're just kind of like having bloodlust. What you want to do is get the illegal aliens up out of here. That's your focus. Don't worry about the students and that. Don't worry about that. Focus on the illegal aliens. 860, you're in line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, it's FA Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Oh, nothing much. I just watched an interesting little informational video on the Muslim immigration problem that they're having in England? You know what the number one problem is right now in England?
What's that?
The number of genetic deformities for over 1,000 years of marrying their cousins. I kid you not. Search. They're going to bankrupt our medical among everything else on top of it. Just the sheer mountain of genetic problems from marrying cousin after cousin after cousin for generations. It's serious. First I ever heard of it, but it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's like the royals in England, throughout Europe. So, other than that, show's growing great. You're doing great, man. Glad to see it. I mean, God, it's been, 6-7 years?
It's been quite a while, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to let you go, Anthony. I just sit in the background most of the time, listen, talk here and there, but that's the latest thing that I've seen so far. Usually it takes 4 or 5 years for everybody else to catch up, as you know. Anyway, you have a great night, and everybody have a happy holiday. Catch you later. Bye.
Thank you for the call, man. Most certainly appreciate you. Thank you guys for being here as well. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Let's go to 859. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
All right, Anthony. How's it going? I was listening to the show, and I was just driving, working as usual, man. And I was just checking how you are, man. Luciferian Libertarian here, doing the 420 as usual. Yep, working hard. And then I was listening to the show, and you talk about Nicki Minaj and how she's doing the charity thing? I forgot what it's called. I was halfway listening to it when I was working. My bad.
Yeah, the UN
Hello?
speech. The UN speech.
Oh, the UN. Yeah, the UN. How? I was listening to it, and how she was sticking that problem over in that other country with Christians getting hurt and getting massacred and over religious differences and stuff like that is crazy, and it happens in the Middle East. I'm sorry, I'm multitasking at the same time calling you, man. You know how that is. But what I was saying is that there's a big problem with governments in other countries, taking over people's rights and stuff like that, especially China. That's the thing I think we need to worry about, is the Chinese communist influence towards our business and stuff like that. The NBA and NFL gets lots of funding and lots of funding from these countries and stuff like that, but they throw people and they restrict freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and they throw people who are Muslims and Christians in concentration camps in China because they don't agree with the state agenda, and that's horrific. I'm tired of these liberals exaggerating Trump. Granted, I went on here before and complained about Trump, and there's some things about Trump I do and don't like. But the man's not Hitler. At the most, he's like Wolf of Wall Street in comparison. But I just don't get the knowledge that these liberals are screaming about these causes, but I never see them wave a Taiwanese flag. Am I right or am I wrong? Is that kind of hypocritical?
At the Taiwanese flag for what?
No, I said the Taiwanese flag against the CCP, against the oppressors, against the actual fascists, against the actual oppressors.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So I never see them wave a Taiwanese flag. I never see them wave a flag that is pro Hong Kong or Taiwan. I'm tired of these people who, on the left, go into these causes and not knowing a thing about it at all. And it's irritating. And the real oppression, man, in China, they're throwing people in camps because they believe in a different thing, because they have a different opinion. We take our freedoms in our country completely for granted. We're complaining about what bathrooms and the orange narcissist if he did or did not do something with a man or not. None of my business. That's his own business. But in all fairness, thank you very much for taking my phone call, ABL. Much appreciated.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. And I gotta get back to work. See ya.
I know. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate for the call. But yeah, shout out to Taiwan, all them good people, man. Look, hopefully we don't have no wars. One thing I hope AI can do is just stop a lot of this conflict worldwide and nationwide. But we'll see. We shall see. A lot of these conflicts are over resources. They're over ideologies. They're over a lot of things that I don't know if AI can actually solve. I think AI is being overhyped, in my humble opinion. But we'll see. Like I said, come 5 years, 10 years, whatever, we shall see if it's overhyped or not. But again, the number to call is 706-406-3287. The number is always in the ticker and always in the description box. Let me read some of the comments till we get the next call coming in. Yeah, a lot of the people that protest, so-called protest, they're hired to protest. So they're not going to do Taiwan. Ain't nobody paying them to do that. 501 your line, I'm speaking to.
Hey, what's going on?
Not too much. What's happening?
Nothing much. Just got out of school. So I didn't get to watch the show because I was in school. But what do you think about the Democrats now calling Jeffrey Epstein a constituent of the islands?
Yeah, so I saw that as far as the lady that Plaskett, the House rep from Virgin Islands, like that was her excuse when they were asking her, hey, why were you texting Jeffrey Epstein during a trial? Why were you texting them during you having to go do something? It might have been a hearing or a trial. And she said, well, he was a constituent, and it's like a constituent. So do you text all your constituents? Like, can a random person just get your phone number and text you whenever they want during a trial? It's like they're trying to downplay her role in it. And a lot of the Democrats now got to play the whole downplay game because they've been exposed.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of sad that, you consider a convicted pedophile your constituent, and you took money from him back in 2013, and then you didn't want to give it away, but then after you were forced to give it away, you finally gave it away to some abused women's charity. Why did you take the money in the first place?
Exactly, because at the time it was okay, I guess. It wasn't really a big deal. But then once it was realized to the general public who this guy was and what he was doing, then it became a bad thing. But they knew who he was at the time. It wasn't a secret. He already been convicted of what he was convicted of, the child sex stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sad to see Cream Corn Jeffrey go, because I think they're gonna definitely primary him out of there.
Hey, I hope so.
Well, I mean, we can hope that, but then who are they gonna put in there? Somebody radicalized just like Zohran Mamdani?
That's a good point.
Because I think his friend, the black guy who said that's already stepped up to primary him, is just like Zohran. The black guy, I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's all I got.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, good point. It could be somebody worse, but hey, it is what it is. Unknown caller on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, my name's Olivia, and I was just calling on behalf of a couple friends of mine. I was wondering personally, and along with my friends, what you think about Trump letting in Chinese students and other foreign immigrants and stuff like that.
Okay, now as far as the Chinese immigrants, that's a talking point from the media. They're already here. He's not letting in new Chinese students. These are ones that already existed. And that number, 600,000, that's from a 2-year period that has already passed. So we're not letting in new people. And as far as H-1B people, you want to have some immigration. Trump never said we're going to stop immigration. He said we're going to stop illegal immigration, which is why he wanted to build the wall and have the ICE raids and do all the things. The app, you could go home, get a ticket, some money, and get up out of here. That's what that's for. But we did not say you want to get rid of legal immigrants. You got to have some here legally to be productive. What you don't want are those who are going to be here as criminals, welfare recipients, or just generally those who are just getting in the way of trying to compete with Americans for jobs. That's much different than having.
I completely agree with you.
Right. Exactly. So we're on the same page.
Jobs only for Americans.
I have a question from someone who I want to ask you. Do you think that we should keep the jobs here in America for Americans? I personally think that it really depends on the individual who's coming into America themselves, but it's a question that I just want to ask you.
Oh, the jobs in America should most certainly be for Americans, but there's also instances where we got to get trained by outside people, just like the situation at the plant in Georgia with the Koreans. You see, they should have been here, but their paperwork was not really in order. They didn't have all the documentation correct, but they should have been here because they were here to train us how to build the plant. And then once they were done with their mission, they go back home. And once we have that skill, now we have the job and the skill can be transferable to the next plant if we so decide to do so. That's what they should be here for. They should be here to enrich us and help us. They shouldn't be here to compete with us for jobs.
Thank you.
Thank you, ABL, for taking my call.
Thank you for taking my call.
Shout out from Montana.
Shout out from Montana. I definitely agree with what you're saying. I'm 21 years old right now. I'm not really sure about my political beliefs, but I've been watching you for a while, and so has my family, and I think you're very intelligent, and I love hearing what you have to say. So thank you. Anyways, have a good night.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. Bye.
Okay, great call. Shout out to her. Shout out to the young lady. There might have been a mom or something in the background. Shout out to all you guys for calling on in. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling with me. Keep on. All right. And great questions. 615 hit online. Who am I speaking to?
What's up, baby? It's Boomhauer, man. How you doing?
Everything's good, Boomhauer. What's going on?
Man, it's been a long time. I ain't heard your voice in a long time, man. I just want to let you know, though, I fell off for a little bit because I got a little bit of political fatigue. I really did, and I was like, man, I'm just going to take a break for a while. But I just really, for real, just want to let you know that even though I took a break from calling in or like being on the show or doing whatever, man, I still listen to you every week. And whenever I feel like like if ever I'm like down and I'm like, man, I feel like crap today, man, I just throw on your show. And anything I watch, man, anything I watch of you, man, I just bust out laughing, man. And it just makes me feel better, man. So I just want to let you, from the bottom of my heart, for real, I just want to throw that out there right now, that's for real. That is 100% true. And you make me feel better, man, once I start feeling like crap. But I did get political fatigue for a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. But so anyway, I wanted to say thank you for that. So I'll listen. If you want to rebuttal that, that's cool. And I'll tell you what I called in for.
Well, thank you for the call, first of all. And then, I'm glad I can do that for you. I try to always make things fun. I don't want to be like a stick in the mud. So I'm glad you're able to recognize that and appreciate that. So thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. You've always been my guy for real. So, man, I just want to touch on the EBT situation. I've been listening for weeks now about your whole take on the EBT thing. So now I want you to hear my take on the EBT thing. Right. As a kid, me and my brother grew up in the hood, and if nobody doesn't know anything, Rebel Without a Reason is my big brother, right? He's 2 years older than me. So me and him grew up in the hood in East Nashville in Tennessee. And I'm telling you now, I'm talking about the hood is where me and him live. So as kids, man, my mama had us on food stamps. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, me personally, I do not know how he feels about this. Me and him see eye to eye about everything. I think he probably feels the same way, but I hated it, man. I freaking hated it. I couldn't stand it. And I was like, why every Christmas are we going to the fairgrounds to get, there's a thing called Big Brothers baskets. And when you're poor, they would take you down you go to the fairgrounds and they give you these baskets, like these wicker baskets full of like apples and food and all this. And if you have little boys or little girls, they'll give you a free bike and they'll give you a free skateboard. They'll give you whatever you want, man. And then we did that every single year of our lives. And I kept wondering, like, why are we doing this, man? Like, what is going on? Like, why do we keep doing this, man? And then, man, what killed me, and this is what started who I am today, and that ain't no lie. I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and my mama sent me to the store, and she gave me them $3 brown of food stamps and said, go get some bread and go get some eggs. And I went through the line as a little bitty kid by myself, and I paid for the bread, I paid for the eggs, and I went on. And I wondered, what is this? This doesn't even look like a dollar bill. This is like a brass-looking painted brown piece of paper that's got a dollar on it. And I just bought some stuff with it, but it doesn't seem real. Like, what am I doing? And man, what killed me? This is what killed me, and what started me as the man I am today. I don't know. My brother could probably vouch for this. I don't know if he remembers this like I do. This sticks in my brain like crazy. My mama got a bunch of money, and we're going through the line, and there was a place called HG Hills in East Nashville, man. We're going through the line with 2 buggies full of stuff, and everything is trash. I'm talking about corn dogs. Not even, Hot Pockets wasn't even thought of back then, but we got corn dogs. We got the frozen everything. Everything is frozen going through there. And man, I'm standing up there, and next thing I know, the next aisle over is one of my so-called best friends in 3rd grade was on the next aisle over behind me. And when the lady was like $200, $210 and odd cents, my mama pulled out nothing but food stamps, dude. And the kid behind me yelled out, oh my God, boom, I was on food stamps. Boom, I was on food stamps. Boom, I was on food stamps. I died that day, dude. And that was me in school. And when I got back to school the next week, trash, dude. I got trashed. My whole elementary school trashed me. You broke your own food stamps. White boy on food stamps. White boy on food stamps. Tore me up, dude. And right then I said, you know what? I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to get out of this. I will never do this again. And man, it took me my whole, man, I'll tell you what, it took me my junior high school, teenage years, and finally to my grown-up years. And you know what me and my brother did? We both started our own companies. We went through school together. We went through trade school, 2 trade schools together. Me and him did. He went before me. I followed. Yes, I did. I'm gonna throw props to him. Shout out to Rebel Without a Reason, because he did. I followed in his footsteps. He's 2 years older than me. That is my older brother. 2 years after him. Everywhere he went to trade school. I went right behind him, and we did that, man. And now we both own our own companies. We both do the same thing. But he does his thing, and I do mine. He's got one side of the city. I have the other side of the city. That's how we do things. And I want to tell the chat, don't you ever think in your life you can't do something. Because I'm going to tell you right now, we were 2 broke kids that didn't have anything in this world. 2 broke kids that grew up in the hood, walking around with brothers that had jerry curls and the clear cap ABL. You already know what I'm talking about, too. Watching people get robbed. We both got robbed. I got robbed at 6 years old at gunpoint. My brother was 8. So don't tell me that you can't come up out of something and be somebody. We both own our own houses. We both own our own companies, and we came up out of it, man. So please, people, if you're on these food stamps and they're cutting you off, it was for a reason, because you are bigger than that. And ABL, I love you, dog. That's all I got to say. I love the chat. I love y'all for taking and listening to my voice tonight. It's been a long time coming. I had to say that, man. And I'm going to let you go on that one, brother. I love you, man. Holler at you.
Thank you for your call, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
Great story from my man, Boomhauer. Fantastic story. And I know, I done seen the Jerry curls. I remember all of that. The 80s, 90s. I remember all of that going on. So, yeah, man. And that's... That element of shame, the element of that kind of bullying a little bit as you went through, it actually helps people, unfortunately, but maybe fortunately, because people are able to say, you know what, I'm going to get beyond that. I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to follow in that same path, I'm going to go out there and be productive. But now, a lot of that's gone. It's like not even really a thing. People go on the internet and brag about being on food stamps. They brag about not working. They brag about just doing whatever they want to do. So, but yeah, man, I'm glad you were able to get up out of that and just go do a different thing in life. 100%. Shout out to you, bro. And I got a little bit more time for you guys if you want to call in. The number to call 706-406-3287. But yeah, man, that whole food stamp thing, we need more people to say, you know what, I'm going to actually do something. And since we don't have as much of that, the result, in my opinion, is a big dip, a big drop in productivity, which is always going to be a bad thing. That's right, Crypto Mountain Man. EBT should not be a lifestyle. It should not be a lifestyle at all. All right, like I said, I got a little bit of time, but about to wrap it on up in a minute. So you guys, final call for the calls. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and wrap it up right there. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you heard tonight, if you enjoyed the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I'll be back live on Saturday. Same bat channel, same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, I'm live on the Instagrams every Tuesday. If you guys were there last night on Instagram, shout out to you for being there. I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling with me. And what I'm going to do with the Instagram, I'm going to make shorts of that as well. So if you're not able to catch Instagram, you'll be able to see some of that in the short form here. I try to do long form stuff, but it ain't that much really going on. So whenever I have long form video, I'll do it. But the short form is always going to be easier to come up with and easier to manage because you could do live streaming and just talk about certain things. So you guys will always see that. But either way it goes, check me out on all my platforms. If you want to get more content that I'm not able to put on YouTube, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow me. If you follow me on those places or any one of them, you'll be able to get more than YouTube will allow. Because Facebook, Instagram, all of that is based on sharing. Especially Facebook, it's based on sharing. So if I post something, it's not a limit to what I can post because people can share it and it can get spread that way. But on YouTube, they got a 3-time limit. If you post more than 3 times in a day, they don't send out notifications for that fourth within 24 hours. And also with YouTube, you got certain channels that are actually preferred by YouTube to recommend to people, and I'm not one of them. You know, but they don't shadow ban me, but they don't recommend me more than other channels. So my point is, follow me everywhere to get everything, and you don't miss out on what you want to see. All right. But again, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to JB, who says, thanks, ABL. Thank you. I appreciate you. You know, I couldn't do any of this without you. And I think that's all the super chats. But shout out to you guys. Again, this is an audio streaming podcast. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or visit your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. I'll be back live again on Saturday. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.